and welcome to Travesty of Justice, the 400,000th wrestling podcast. This is episode 5, and today we are taking a break from our WrestleMania count
Thank
up,
God.
and instead we take a look at WCW Starrcade 1998. Two construction workers fight during a break. WCW Starrcade 1998, which is being held at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C., has a runtime of 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 41 grueling seconds, with 16,066 people in attendance. Yes, that is 3 6s in the number.
Satan?
Yes.
Possible Satan.
Pay-per-view buys, really good, around 450,000. Not as good as last year, which is their biggest one, but we'll get to that. This is being held 2 days after Jesus' birthday.
Yeah.
Back on December 27th in 1998. Scooter, who's the commentary team today?
Let's see. We got Tony, the greatest night in the history of our sport, Shivani. Mike Tenay, which he's always on the losing side of everything. And Bobby the Brave Heenan.
You know who I want to call? Okay, WWE, listen to us. You owe us.
So
Two
much.
of us have bought your network. So, for WrestleMania 31, Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone need to call
Yeah,
it.
Tony Schiavone's not doing anything nowadays.
I know. Actually, we'll talk about that.
Really?
Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura
Yes.
need to call it. Because
Yes.
we know how excited Tony Schiavone gets. We know how excited Jesse Ventura
They will just...
But but the thing is, you need Eric Bischoff talking in Tony Schiavone's ear.
That's
like,
true.
Like, it's the only way to get the full effect, the full Schiavone.
Look, with Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone at a table, the camera is going to have to remain above that table at all times. Because they will both be masturbating so furiously.
That's very true. Did you just say to get the full Schiavone?
Yes.
I'm so done.
I swear to God.
We are going to start out talking about albums. Ryan, walk us through some of the good albums from the latter half of 1998.
All right,
please.
well, we have the indie rock classic In the Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel, which is basically Anne Frank fan fiction written by Jeff Mangum, who sounds like a goat. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to everyone I roomed with during college when I found Neutral Milk Hotel and listened to that goat-sounding motherfucker singing about the king of carrot flowers. I am so sorry to all of you. We also had Americana by The Offspring, which I wore the fuck out.
Right.
No, I'm not shocked you did.
No, yeah. I mean, the kids aren't all right. If you're an angry 12-year-old, there's just nothing better. There was also The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, very important album, probably the best of her career. And Swarm by Wu-Tang Clan. Fuck yeah.
We will go ahead and talk about some of the singles. There's really only 4 that stand out. 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies had only 1 week on the charts, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
Universally beloved by every junior high dance ever.
It was on there for 4 weeks. Spoiler alert, guess what movie came out in 98?
Armageddon.
Also, I'm Your Angel by R. Kelly and Celine Dion sat on there for 4 weeks. But what really just fucked the Billboard Top 100 up and down was Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is
Yes,
Mine.
God, such a great song.
Spent a quarter of the year on there.
Hot
13 weeks.
And then what's great about that is that the video for The Boy Is Mine, they both realize that they're dating a jackass at the end, and then they, like, walk off into the sunset together.
That's
Yeah.
hot.
That is kind of hot, actually. Brandy and Monica were quite hot.
Correct.
So I could deal with that. I would watch that. Scooter, talk to us about the movies.
Okay, this is actually, this is a giant year for movies. It's like one of the, at the time it was a record-breaking year for the box office, because you had the likes of The Truman Show, which is, wasn't very highly regarded at the time, but now it's amazing.
So great.
When you look back on, Mulan, which is fun, Disney movie. MFing Armageddon, Criterion Classic, for some reason.
Which has been made into the Criterion Collection, by the way. Michael Bay has a movie. I just want to eat my own fucking face. I hate it so much.
And the Godfather 3 of Lethal Weapon movies. Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, it sucks so bad.
Saving Private Ryan, which I will abstain from any jokes here. The amazing movie Basketball.
Oh, sure.
Everyone's favorite Blade.
There we go.
Rush Hour.
Woo!
American History X. The Water Boy.
Fuck yeah.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Starring the Giant.
And also Rob
Funnily
Schneider.
enough. We'll forget that. A Bug's Life, which I saw that movie way too many times in the Dollar Theater that was next to my house when growing up.
There you go.
Star Trek Insurrection.
Yeah. That never happened. Data is still alive. I refuse to accept it.
Oh, sorry. That's not Insurrection.
Nemesis,
that was,
excuse me.
Nemesis.
Nemesis is cool.
What? No.
Oh, fuck you. I enjoyed it. Moving on.
Patch, and then finally, Patch Adams. Oh.
And then we made ourselves sad.
My mom loves that movie. She watched that way too many, so many times.
Not his best. Not his best.
Speaking of making ourselves sad,
this
is the really depressing part of the show before we get to the other depressing part of the show where we watch
We're
WCW.
doing WCW Starrcade 98, Martin.
Can we save this for a later date?
No. We have the major news headlines from June 98 to December 98. On June 3rd, a high-speed train derails in Lower Saxony, Germany, killing 101 people. On July 10th, the Roman Catholic sex abuse cases break out. $23.4 million are paid to 9 former altar boys who said they were sexually abused by one very specific priest. On August 17th, the Monica Lewinsky scandal breaks out. And then a month later, on September 7th, Google is founded.
Woo!
September 11th, Kenneth Starr sends his report to Congress saying, hey, Bill Clinton's a bad dude. He did these 11 things that we could totally impeach his butt for. And then October 7th, Matthew Shepard, a gay student at University of Wyoming, is found tied to a fence after being beaten in Laramie, Wyoming. He is taken to a hospital and then will later die from his injuries. Both men that beat him received 2 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole. Good. This case and ensuing media thing around it really did help highlight the homophobia and the culture of the United States, which unfortunately is still not cured. November 20th, the Afghanistan court, then controlled by the Taliban, declare Osama bin Laden a man without sin, which I guess is a fancy way of saying he's not guilty, in regards to the 98 embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania.
That's a very retro sentence.
I guess they could. I guess they could say that he is guilty, but he wasn't wrong.
The act itself was not sinful.
There we go. That's an interesting way of putting it. December 26th, Iraq announces its intention to fire upon the U.S. Everyone in the U.S. has to look up where Iraq is on a map and then begins shitting themselves laughing. British warplanes, not laughing, go ahead and respond. And Iraq says, oh, no.
Not again.
Oh, Jesus.
Background. Everyone knows the story of the Monday Night Wars. This pay-per-view falls right after Nitro has lost its lead. Last week of the Nitro being on top, that 84-week streak was March 30th earlier this year at 1998, not 2014. And the last week Nitro was in the lead was October 26th, 1998. So they're still doing very good business here. 1998, they earned $50 million fucking dollars just in profit. This would be the last year that they made a profit. Scooter, how'd they fare in 1999?
I think they lost somewhere in the ballpark of one of Ted Turner's Lexus.
One of his, summer condos?
Yeah, one of his summer condos.
$15 million they lost.
How do you do that?
Well, it's okay. When we say lose, it's not
They obviously people like Hogan were overpaid.
Oh my God.
And probably just people stopped buying their stuff, and so the spending didn't match the income.
And it's a surprising thing to find out that WCW was actually winning the Monday Night Wars for most of it.
Oh yeah, for a good chunk.
Because maybe
it's just they were so
they had that breakout thing with the NWO,
right?
But the problem was they got it And then they didn't know what to do.
Right.
That's why they kept rehashing various
and that's why
storylines.
Yeah, and then and of course, like when you're watching WCW versus WWE, I think that we have this kind of revisionist standpoint on it because obviously WWE won. So of course we're going to look at it and go like, oh, obviously they were completely trouncing WCW in ratings, and no, not even.
Well, see, the thing is, it's kind of depressing about Starrcade '98 is really this is like the beginning of the end.
It is. In fact, late '98, Kevin Nash gets promoted to head booker.
Oh,
Why?
Jesus.
Have you seen Kevin Nash wrestle? Which, again, there's a big difference between booking and wrestling talent. We'll get to that later with Ric Flair. But
sure.
The last year, Starrcade '97 was their best pay-per-view buy rate ever. Close to about 700,000 people bought it. Was main evented by Sting and Hogan. Huge build for this. And then the match was kind of a wet fart in a tin can.
Yep, so there you go.
The best you could really hope for.
Yeah, and Hogan versus Sting. Sting actually has some chops, and even he's not going to salvage that poop cookie,
It's true.
Well, because Hogan didn't want to do the job.
Oh, yeah, no, he can't put Sting over.
Hogan just doesn't like doing the job.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. He doesn't understand anything.
He doesn't understand basic wrestling storytelling. It's like, what do you mean I'm the bad guy and supposed to lose? This isn't right. Or, sorry, lose cleanly.
And yeah,
he doesn't understand heels lose cleanly.
I would love to see his thought bubble of like, what? But Hogan not win? Am good guy? No, and then it's
you are bad guy here. It's like,
clean. We begin with a sexy pan up of Bill Goldberg.
Oh shit!
Set to a little bit of a variation on his theme, and Tony Schiavone welcomes us to the granddaddy of them all.
And it's at this point, I'm looking at the crowd and the set, and it's just like, this doesn't feel like Starrcade. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel like a.
It looks like their old like purple and yellow Saturday night.
It looks like a TV taping on a Saturday night.
Yeah, it looks Mickey Mouse as fuck, and like you're watching this, and throughout watching Starrcade '98, which actually did kind of decently apparently. I felt like I was just eating fistfuls of Malto-Meal bag cereal. Like, this is off-brand wrestling. And it's not, though. That's the thing. But maybe it was just the people who ran WCW were so low rent that...
Well, it also doesn't help when you look at the ring compared to WWE's ring. It's noticeably smaller.
Yeah.
So even looking at that, it just looks cheaper than a WWE event.
I would agree, yeah.
As a little bit of pyro starts shooting off, the logo that is right on the entranceway, I guess. Pyro fires out of one side of it, and then they immediately cut it off because I guess the one on the other side just didn't fire. And I guess that really gives us an idea of what's going to come on this one.
I kind of wish that they'd done Goldberg's theme with like a recorder, maybe like. And just kind of
You mean Gilbert?
Oh yeah.
They should just brought in Gilbert.
Yeah,
I love Gilbert.
Gilbert's so awesome.
Goldberg at this point is 173-0. They will tell us that about 173 times during the show.
I wonder what they're foreshadowing.
It's amazing. And then we get exciting news from Schiavone. Eric Bischoff has demanded that the other horsemen, apart from Ric Flair, be banned from the building because they did not want to pay them. Immediately, some asshole goes ahead, since I guess they decided that no more air horns, and we get a laser pointer at Tony Schiavone. Bobby Heenan starts looking around to find a little shit.
Yay, 1998.
I wish that we'd gotten Bobby the Brain Heenan just screaming at some squirrely punk kid with a laser pointer.
That would have been amazing.
Just like jumped over the
cut his mic and start fucking going off. We get at the very beginning of a pay-per-view, which for those of you that aren't really familiar with the whole concept, the pay-per-view is something that you pay money to watch. Generally in the neighborhood of about $30,
$60 nowadays. Fuck you, WWE.
Are you shitting me right now?
No, yeah. Well, technically, if you buy the network, it's only $10 a month.
Right, which also means that they don't have to actually have any decent booking to draw ratings. They just you've paid for the whole thing for the whole year, so you're welcome. That's for you.
Oh, you're just something.
It's true.
Yeah.
We do have a lovely siren going on outside, so we'll pause while that goes through.
It's Perry Saturn's theme.
Jesus.
Did you hear about that?
I am laughing for Perry Saturn and not The Purge. Let's not even comment on The Purge. Let's not even...
Did you purge last night, Ryan?
Well, I purge every day of my life, Scooter. That's how I keep my girlish figure.
So, at the very beginning of this pay-per-view, we get them talking about catch us on QVC and buy more shit from us. Which
I think nowadays they actually air commercials during the pay-per-view.
They do.
This is like a precursor to that. Instead of like a brand, you're getting it's an in-house advertisement. But it's just we pay. Why are you hawking your shit at us? We already gave you money.
So they're already shilling for whatever company is sponsoring it.
They get over the hotline, $1.69 a minute.
To by the way, they do this in front with Gene Okerlund with a live microphone in front of the crowd. I'm pretty sure that's a good way to kill your live crowd because no one gives a shit about your hotline,
right?
Because they're not going to call it while they're there because
cell
phones aren't really a thing.
Yeah. And even if they were,
but that's my thing. If they had the hotline up for that long, and of course when you're watching this on the WWE Network, they're like, please do not call this line; it does not work. But God damn it, there must have been some sad little swamp fucker in 1998 who probably ran up his phone bill calling the WCW hotline, and I want to find this guy, and I want to take him out for a drink and ask him about his life choices.
Well, I mean, that was the hotlines were big business back in the day.
Because the internet wasn't as widely available.
Yeah, but you're not exactly getting a dirt sheet. You're getting whatever promo shit they're doing at the time.
Yeah,
well, still,
you had new childhood, Ryan.
That's true.
Our first match of the night is a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Juventud Guerrera, Rey Mysterio, and Kidman, the current champion.
Yes.
I got super excited when I realized it was going to be Hoovy, and then I realized he was unmasked, and I was like, fuck you, Bischoff.
Right, well,
pretty man, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, fuck you, Eric Bischoff, for taking the mask off because it's disrespectful to luchas, but also Juventud Guerrero, though. He is a pretty man.
He's
like watching
very pretty man.
Michael Jackson with a long hair wrestle.
Yeah.
Very live.
And which, side note here, I love that Eddie Guerrero later on is screaming about Kidman being a pretty boy, while in the ring with Juventud, I'm like, he's right there. He's the prettiest man in the stadium.
Right.
Well, and I love Kidman's ring gear, because, pretty soon when the indies start the rise after the death of WCW and ECW, just about every wrestler wears that jorts and tank top combo
God bless.
as their wrestling gear.
Yeah, how did they all decide on...
Because they can't afford anything better.
How did they all decide on that fucking getup? What were there other things, maybe we should all wear a onesie, or maybe, I don't...
John Cena...
they all wanted to look kind of, grungy and cool.
Well, it was... The thing that they were pushing in WCW at the time, and would come even more later, is when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came over, we're in with real names. Mm-hmm. Because as we move closer towards the end of WCW, the only thing they want to talk about is everybody is shooting all the time. And
I'm a real straight shooter, brother.
It turned into absolute fucking mayhem there toward the end.
Thank you, Vince Russo.
God,
I should mention...
Nobody loves worked shoots more than Vince Russo.
I will mention that this pay-per-view Vince Russo had nothing to do with. He is not here yet.
Soon.
That comes later.
Soon.
It was like you had just announced a death. We were all terrified for a moment there.
I had completely forgot about the Latino World Order.
Oh, how could you? How dare you, sir? Did you forget that the Blue World Order, too?
I will never forget about the
Blue World Order. Poor Blue Meanie.
Maybe one day we'll cover the beginning of the Blue World Order. There's somebody that is listening to this. We have a friend, Liza, that listens to us. She doesn't really watch a whole lot of wrestlings, but she is really excited whenever we post something. We'll post something, we'll put it on our Facebook, and 3 hours later, we will get the only comment ever, and it's from her, and she's like, yes!
It's awesome.
Because she's so excited. But we're sitting here talking about
she does the Vince McMahon voice.
Yes! And the Blue World Order,
yes!
And she's like, what the fuck? What are you guys talking about? I just we're not going to...
And I really want to believe that... I really want to believe that non-wrestling fans who listen to this are Yeah, I was going to say, I want to believe that non-wrestling fans who listen to our podcast are just furiously Googling, who the fuck is the Blue Meanie? and then they say it and they're like,
the Beatles?
Oh no,
what's that? That's a wrestler?
Anybody can be a wrestler.
Is that Bam Bam Beagle? All right. During Ray's entrance...
Did you say Bam Bam Beagle?
During Ray's entrance...
Note to self, buy Beagle, name him Bam Bam.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Tony says that Rey Mysterio is from Tijuana immediately after the ring announcer announcing him from San Diego, California.
Pick one.
Close enough. It's close enough for Shivani.
Whatever.
Close enough for Jazz.
Well, and
from the Western Hemisphere.
No, from south of the equator. Well, and the funny thing with Tony Schiavone, I've never heard anybody who sounds whiter than Tony Schiavone trying to say Juventud, because he just sort of turns into like a Dick Clark guy, like Juventud. And it is painful to listen to.
There is a reason why I only refer to him as Hoovy, because I want to avoid sounding white to
right.
What about Mike Tenay saying Prince Iakea?
We'll get to that.
We will. Kidman comes out, not Billy Kidman.
Just Kidman.
Kidman.
Yeah, sort of like how Puff Daddy just became P Diddy there. You know,
and then he removed the P because it was getting between him and his fans.
Right.
Okay, that's a direct quote from him.
That's true.
From Mr. Combs. Why'd you remove the P? It was getting between me and my fans.
What's a little P?
Motherfucker, you knew what she was saying. Ryan, did you notice Kidman's entrance video?
Yeah, wasn't it like just sort of grainy, like Snow Channel?
Right, it was static, but in front of the static, and this was the important focal point of his entrance video, it was his name written on a piece of paper, and it was bopping around like an overactive Windows screensaver.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, wow. So they probably rushed his...
I wonder if you can find that screensaver. Which just says like a wrestler's name bouncing around.
Look, it's either that or Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 3 in front of the Windows 95 fireworks screensaver.
I would do that, and I would never use my computer. I would have a separate computer in my room.
Right.
I would put that on my TV. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Like you have those picture frames that you connect to the internet, and that's just all that.
Oh my god, I would do that all the time.
Absolutely.
Just that one YouTube video on a loop. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. This is going to be really difficult to call because this match is
all over the place.
Fucking crazy.
This match is bananas.
And we'll get to like we'll
talk about that. But I want to say about the entrance video, guys. This is your WrestleMania. Starrcade, as Dusty Rhodes once said, is everlasting.
Starrcade is everlasting. Fucking
what the fuck, guys? I know you don't have a Titantron, but step up your game a little bit.
I know.
Oh god.
Juventud starts off the match by shoving Ray and Kidman. They team up to punch him in the face. We get an amazing tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Ray.
Which, and I noticed there was a lot of like tandem offense with Kidman and Ray. And I looked it up. They were a tag team champions at one point.
I did not know that.
And they were the last cruiserweight tag team champions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. We get a Bronco Buster from Ray featuring his knee brace all up in the camera.
Yep.
Which, yeah, like I didn't realize this. Ray had been wrestling for maybe 5 years at this point. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little more. And Bobby Heenan's already said he's had knee surgeries. Or surgery. I can't remember.
Actually, I wouldn't be that surprised if it was
like, so, the motherfucker had a bad knee just out the gate.
Shoo. Kidman and Ray start fighting. Finally, Juventud, now that he's not getting his ass kicked, is like, yeah, kick his ass. Yeah. Then they stop. They look at him and they start beating
punch him in the mouth.
The part of and
then go back to fighting.
The part of Scrappy Doo will be played by Juventud Guerrero.
Right.
Basically.
He's such a tiny dude. But it's so great, though, because... during a lot of it, I feel like Juventud is kind of like screaming, "Pay attention to me!" But the thing that
I'm here too.
Hey guys, remember Juventud or Juventud as Tony Schiavone would call him? But the thing about this match that really impressed me is that so if you're having a 3-way match, I'm going to get kind of gross here for a moment. It's
good.
Right. So 3-way wrestling matches are kind of like sexual 3-ways in real life because. Unless you have 3 people who are very sensitive and really know what they're doing and sort of have a feel for the other people, it's going to be 2 people having a pretty good time and 1 sad individual holding their junk and staring into the middle distance. And this match was incredible because...
Or maybe you'll have, 2 people going at it and 1 person that can rest.
Sure.
Is it clear I've never been in a three-way section?
Neither I've never known the touch of it.
Sexual.
I'm going to plead the fifth here and just not say anything at all.
I just slap my. Never mind.
Look. Sex doesn't
doesn't
exist outside of the Attitude Era in real life or in wrestling.
It's true. Ray reverses an electric chair clutch to avoid a crossbody from Juventud. Kidman picks up Ray and slams him on Juventud.
I will beat another mother.
I know that no one understands.
Yeah, it's just like, but then like Ray goes for the pin, and this pisses off Kidman,
so he has to throw him off.
And I couldn't stop laughing because I just thought of that. I thought of that meme with the one guy like beating a person with another person, and like I will beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
We get a USA chant from the crowd as Juventud, the Michael Jackson Guerrera, hits a double bulldog, covers both men.
I had to stop what I was painting. I stopped painting Warhammer figures to specifically like point out the spot, like, oh my god, this spot.
Scooter, I want to give you so many swirlies right now.
Oh, shut up.
Like 8,000
Yeah, Ryan,
swirlies.
You're not the nerd here.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you want to give him swirlies, says the guy that was listening to Neutral Milk Hotel.
But yeah, that's fair.
Nerd. Yeah. Can I just go on record and say, like, I've never really been a big fan of three-way matches.
I don't want them every match. I think they're really exciting once in a while.
It depends. Like, I don't know. Like,
I get it.
Fatal four-ways get a little better because then at least you have two guys pairing off.
Well, it turns into a very confusing tag team match.
Yeah. And like you typically like in a triple threat, you have one guy who's just standing around jerking it in the corner, taking a breather.
Right, exactly.
So it's just I don't know. And then every time you go for a pin, there's the inevitable spot where the guy runs in and breaks it up, and I don't know. It just gets in the way of stuff.
And that's the other thing about this match that impressed me is that some part of me was tempted to call it a spot fest because of.
Oh, it was a spot fest.
It was a spot fest, but also I didn't care that it was a spot fest because I was having so much fucking fun watching these guys.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan.
Well, we'll get to our ratings in a bit. Mm-hmm. But I want to say these are really amazing exchanges between all three guys. It's really hard to explain everything, but the commentators don't bother to call any of the moves, so why should we bother?
Yeah, because there was a really awkward moment where Heenan is just like, "Oh yeah, there's so many people here. My friend Bill's here," and cue awkward silence for a good 10 seconds, and then someone's finally like, "Bill Clinton," and he's like, "No, Bill," and he's like, "No, Bill from Saskatchewan." And she's like, "What was the point of this?"
It was, they can't all be.
It was essentially dead air for a minute,
which
might have improved it,
right? No, but that's the thing. During every match of the night, the commentators cannot be bothered to give us the play-by-play or any kind of meaningful commentary on what is happening in the ring, and they are ever more promoting whatever shit is coming up ahead with Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair.
And they're busy calling Flair versus Bischoff the most important match of Flair's career.
Oh my god!
Like, really? Did the 80s not happen in the WCW universe?
No. Did the 90s not happen?
Fair enough.
Juvi throws Kidman out, throws Ray over. He crossbodies Kidman. We get a top rope springboard plancha from Juvi. He throws them both in, goes to the top, comes off, and then both Ray and Kidman catch him with a drop kick. We get a gorgeous Hurricane Rana from Juvi on Ray while he was on Kidman's shoulders, which they call a Frankensteiner. Jesus Christ.
God damn it.
Well, I bet Papa Pump paid him off to say that.
Maybe. Yeah. You can really tell from the commentators, the company does not care about these amazing work.
No, they don't.
Not even.
They had this fucking incredible undercard, but they were like, meh.
It gets even worse. Like this match, they're excited about it. There's other matches they just downright ignore.
Yeah.
Like later on.
Hurricane Rana from Ray to Juventud, the 80th of the night. To the outside, Juvi hits his feet on the guardrail. Looked really horrendous.
Yeah.
After a top rope leg drop from Kidman, he goes for a pin. Juvi gets in too late to save, but it's not quite the push it should have been, so he ends up just getting a finger in his butt.
Sure.
Ray stops himself from going outside with a precursor to the 619. Then he throws Kidman out, hits him with a Oh my god.
This moonsault.
The acai moonsault was so beautiful.
It was picture perfect.
It really was. I literally just want that gif. We're going to put that on our Tumblr somewhere.
It sucks because the cameraman wasn't in good position to catch all of it because he was kind of like...
So beautiful.
It was beautiful to look at. I wish I was there live just to see that movie.
Well, and
it's like Hayabusa level beautiful.
And like a lot of this match was... It was just a lot was just a fucking clinic. Like these guys... Their form is so good.
I wouldn't say that.
No.
Like,
I think you're saying the form of the moves.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Not the match itself.
No.
Gotcha,
Like the match is a spot fest, but like in terms of like technical execution of this incredibly dangerous shit.
I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Kidman hits a spine buster on Juventud. Tony calls a power bomb. Good job, asshole.
Jesus.
After Ray hits the 93rd Huracan Rana of the match, sends Juventud and himself to the outside. Kidman joins the fun with a shooting star press plancha to the outside.
Because why not?
And it almost hits his feet on the apron. Really dangerous shit. There's a few vids of YouTube people just in the indies botching it and like dying.
There's a reason why they've the WWE's banned that move.
Yeah,
outside of Evan Bourne.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, like watching that was
in order to do that move, you got to prove you can do it and do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that was the part of the match where I'm like, you cannot be serious. Like, and looking at that, going, that is a human body, the same as mine, somehow managing to do that.
I'm pretty sure that human body has not smoked nearly as many cigarettes, nor as much coffee.
He has not smoked all the coffee you have.
I mean, and I've smoked a lot, trust me. But like watching that move is just, oh god, so good.
I gotcha. At this point, Eddie Guerrero comes out with his beautiful ponytail mullet.
Yes.
Reminding me of my high school guitar teacher. He has the ref check on Ray, uses the distraction to turn over Kidman, who has Juventud pinned.
Yeah.
The ref runs in, begins counting it. Ray drop kicks Juvi, and Kidman gets the 3.
I really like this ending. Just like all of a sudden, she's just like, they got it, and he's just like Ray for the assist, kicks him, and all of a sudden it reverses the pin. It was awesome.
And really,
and I love the look on Eddie's face when he's just like not looking. He's just like, yeah, we did it. And then he like looks up and he literally starts shitting his pants.
And I feel like at this point, if Gorilla...
He starts shitting his pants. He's just like,
Well, and I feel like if Gorilla Monsoon were calling this match, he would be obliged to point out that we really need 1.5 refs for 3 men in the ring.
It's true.
Yeah. You know, the match is such an amazing spot fest. You should watch this, all of you. It has a few moments for comedy in the beginning. Ryan, what'd you think?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 because again, it was a total spot fest, but I don't care because, especially as contrasted with everything else that happened in this pay-per-view, these guys, like, their work rate is fucking unreal. And watching these guys in the ring, I was glued to my fucking seat. 4 out of 5. And Juventud, so underrated. That guy sells like a boss.
Yeah. I would agree. There's really no story in the match. There's not much psychology, but it's so entertaining. I also gave it a 4. Could have been a 5 if we had had a fucking storyline in there, if we'd have had some psychology, but very, very solid 4. Scooter, would you like to shit on it?
A little bit. I would like to kind of shit on this match a little bit. Like, it's awesome. Like, how Martin kind of called the match. We're going from spot to spot to spot, and I really felt that's what this match was. Is 3 guys awkwardly going spot to spot to spot.
Well, I don't know about
it.
Awkwardly.
Wasn't any kind of neat transition.
You let the man talk.
I
Ryan.
felt like there were some awkward moments, and it's just like it literally felt like a 2003 independent spot fest to me.
Yeah,
and like it was really. But that being said, it's the best kind of spot fest you can have. But like I just found myself being bored like during this match, despite all the cool spots. And that's why I went with a 3 out of 5.
Huh?
So I'm the asshole.
Yeah, that's fair. And actually, I feel like we should define spot fest for people who don't also speak fucking Carney.
Yeah,
maybe.
A spot fest is basically a match where they don't try and make it onto the highlight reel. They try and just wrestle the highlight reel.
This is my biggest problem with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla out where you live, Ryan. Because literally, like, that's how they book their shows. is they each match tries to outdo the next, and that's all they care about. It's like who's going to get the biggest spot of the night. So all their matches seem to just turn into spot fest.
Right. So
that's my rant on why I don't like PWG. I'm probably going to get torched when I get home.
Sure.
On the internet.
Sure, but I mean, especially spot fests. Mostly, when I think of a spot fest, I just think of Jeff Hardy, because it's like, sure, he does these really crazy high flying moves, but also has the ring psychology of a Doberman Pinscher. Like, he just can't tell a story.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I think he can tell a story. The only story he can tell is, I am the underdog and I'm not as strong. That's the
especially if he has the Undertaker to put him over after the match.
Yeah. Now, after the match, Eddie screams at Ray and Hoovy on the mic. This promo kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Eddie flubs his lines, calls out Kidman,
and he starts speaking Spanish when he gets lost.
No, and I'd like to point out, when he's talking shit about Kidman at this point, he's like, he's probably back there combing his hair. Like, yeah, only useless pretty boys maintain hygiene
and have dates.
Right.
He calls them those vile word in all of English, which is a dweeb.
Oh shit!
And then
you don't come back from that.
He's like, I can beat you, Kidman. And then Kidman, who has just wrestled for 14 minutes and 55 seconds, comes back out and says, fuck yeah, let's do this. Quick question. Where are they now? Now, Juventud would hop around between the Independents, TNA, and even WWE in 2005, where he, Super Crazy, and Psychosis, as the Mexicools,
Jesus,
rode a lawnmower to the ring.
That's amazing.
He currently wrestles in AAA in Mexico. He did appear in the 2000 film Ready to Rumble.
Oh, Jesus.
Though his name is misspelled in the credits and the closed captioning as Guerrero.
Jesus. Juventud Guerrero is the butt monkey of wrestling, and no one can tell me different.
I mean, Juventud Guerrero.
Oh, Guerrero. Excuse me.
Jesus.
Damn it, right.
See? Right there, butt monkey.
Rey Mysterio is still in the WWE, is currently taking time off for a wrist injury. He figured he'd change things up instead of after his 19th knee surgery.
Sure.
Billy Kidman went to the WWE after WCW's buyout, but left to tour the independent circuit in 2005. He would return to WWE in 2008 as a trainer and then as a road agent.
A lot of respectable guys wind up as road agents. Yeah. It's kind of awesome.
It is.
Good for him.
We immediately get our second match, which, Kidman.
By the way, isn't there I know this is like in the world of kayfabe right now. They talk about it during the pay-per-view. There's a championship committee that's supposed to matches. Where are is the cruiserweight division so mismanaged that they're let anyone have a match?
Well, I guess in kayfabe, the wrestler that is the champion can say, yes, I'm sanctioning this match, and I am putting my title on the line. I guess that's how they're doing it.
But it just felt like it's like, okay, yeah, we'll have a match. It's like, but shouldn't there be a number one contender named? Like, I want this to feel like a real sport, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you going to do? Eddie just mud stomps him in the corner. Nice powerbomb from him.
By the way, not in his wrestling gear. That's part of the back and forth before the match is like,
Eddie didn't want to wrestle.
Gear.
Yeah, because he's in jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody would be by the end of '99.
Yeah, well, and of course Eddie's getting some great heat here, but the thing with Eddie Guerrero is that I don't necessarily buy him as a heel because he has the kindest face I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, that man's a brilliant heel.
Oh.
I prefer him as a heel, honestly.
No, that's the thing. He was a great heel, and it's not that he was bad at being a heel. It's just that the guy's got these warm brown eyes and just a very kind face, and I find it for me, I'm like, oh, Eddie Guerrero, he could kill my mom, and I would think it was adorable.
Ryan kind of wants to fuck him.
A little
bit. No, that's Juventud.
And King Kong Bundy.
Also, I am accumulating the weirdest harem of hypothetical wrestlers.
Thankfully for Kidman, Eddie puts him in a rest hold. Poor Kidman.
Yeah, poor guy.
What a fucking champ tonight.
He probably got $20 in a sandwich for this.
No,
they got good money in WCW.
He got pretty good money. Yeah. It's not the Indies. Kidman gets a head scissors. He gets one move. And then Eddie starts beating on him again. Tony calls this head scissors an offensive flurry.
What the shit?
I also realized that Tony is the me of this. Because Tony talks all the time.
He does.
He does 70% of the talking. Brain pipes in a little bit like Scooter.
How you doing?
And Mike Tenay is just waiting for TNA to open.
like me. No, it's no.
Right, because you're just waiting for TNA.
Constantly.
Or close.
See, I didn't want to say it.
Right, yeah.
I have, even in my notes, I'm Tony, Scooter's got Brain, and in my notes, I do not have you as Mike Tenay. I want you to know I respect you.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate
I like
that.
today.
But I've got some shit about Mike Tenay that's going to have you, you're going to oversell, an announcement I make about Mike Tenay.
Excellent.
It's going to be amazing. You will shit your pants later.
You mean more than I already
I promise a pants shitting announcement.
Shit.
Bring your brown pants.
His bumping pants. Eddie gets him in a somewhat interesting hold as we get an Eddie sucks chant. A nice bulldog from Kidman, who's really doing a good job considering his work rate tonight. Eddie employs some, wait for it, psychology.
Yay!
Egging Kidman on. Yeah, come on and attack me. Basically pulling a rope-a-dope. Then he takes off his boot and nails Kidman with it.
And then
Shouldn't that be, honestly, shouldn't this be a DQ?
Okay, but why is it a DQ to hit somebody with a boot
When you can kick
when
them?
you can kick them?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then he proceeds
I don't know.
to wrestle with one shoe on, and it is great.
Because Eddie Guerrero is such a good wrestler, he doesn't need both shoes.
No, he doesn't.
One shoe required. We get a call out for a timeout so he can put his boot back on. And Brain asks, "Where's Al Bundy when you need him?"
That is the best thing in the world. When I heard that, it was amazing.
Good stuff.
Yep.
We get a superplex on Eddie for the 2. Eddie hits a drop kick to the knee, continues attacking it. Ooh, sorry. I like it. Very nice walk-up springboard Hurricane Rana from Eddie.
Because you need more of
Right.
those.
Who is still mono shoe.
During the matches, Ray and Hoovy are just weeping around the outside of the ring,
Pretty much.
doing random bullshit. They're like, we're still here.
Yeah, and this match was an orgy of Hurricane Ranas.
We get, the last one was more so.
Yeah. That's what I mean. These two basically, this match is a tumor growing on the head of the opener, and they both have all the Hurricane Ranas.
We get another person running in to distract the ref.
It's some random bodyguard?
It's Eddie's bodyguard, yeah.
I didn't
apparently.
recognize him.
I didn't either. Hoovy interrupts and crotches Kidman on the ropes. Ray returns the favor to maintain fairness and
course.
crotches Eddie, which is cool.
Yep.
He's Ray's the Tito Santana of the 90s.
Oh my god. You be nice to Ray. Kidman hits the 7-year itch for the 3, which is a shooting star press.
Oh, I had no idea.
This match was less of a spot fest, but really had so much more of a story. It had psychology, had 2 outside workers that were there, not just as window dressing, but actually helped add to the story.
Yeah.
Really, really good, solid 4 from me on this one. Lacked a little bit of what could have made it. It suffered a little bit because it came after what it came after.
right.
You know what I want? This should have been a match. This should have just been a match.
If this had been that first match, because this one only went for 10:49, perfectly respectable length, and you know what? Fucking props to Kidman because he never showed
30 minutes.
he never showed any signs of I am tired
That's
of
why
shit.
he's a trainer.
No, I'm
pretty much.
sure after this match, Kidman just lay supine on the floor for the next 3 days.
Just kill me.
Well, because you got to think how hard Kidman worked tonight,
Oh, yeah.
and then you have someone Nash who probably made 3 times as much as Kidman.
And then Kidman was probably defending his belt the next night on Nitro,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But if this match had gone 15 minutes,
I wish Eddie would have had his gear, and this would
Yeah.
have been the opener.
and if we had had this 3-way match maybe on Thunder, it was. I don't even know. I think Thunder was happening yet.
Maybe not yet.
But if it happened on Nitro and maybe the whole
Would have been the setup.
and for the
Yeah.
outside stuff, then I think this could have pulled a 5.
Oh, yeah.
What did you give it, Scooter?
Well, you see, I actually felt myself being very engrossed by the outcome, and that's kind of rare with these. I've noticed. Like normally, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like it's a bit. I was like, man, I'm really rooting for Kidman here, and so I was really drawn into the match, and I liked the work. It was obviously slower because of the match, because Kidman worked for 15 minutes prior. Yeah. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. Solid 4.
See,
okay, right.
I gave it a 5 out of 5 because a lot of the complaints with the match to me are kind of justified that, like, well, Kidman needed, God damn it, the guy needed a breather. But, like, again, the guy never gave any indication during the match that he was fucking dying and just wanted to go and cry somewhere. And then, like, there were so many funny just little moments, like, with Eddie taking off his shoe to beat a man with it.
Right.
And like this match, I have no real complaints about this. To me, it was like the match of the night. I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Okay, I completely get that. Kind of a sad note for the Where Are They Now on this one. Eddie Guerrero died of acute heart failure on November 13th, 2005, and the wrestling world lost one hell of a performer. Yep. Eddie was absolutely amazing. We cut to an overly dramatic video package for Goldberg and Nash as Tinkerbell whines loudly in Ryan's background. It does absolutely nothing to get over the story or what the fuck is happening. This is a video clip of the two of them, and it's like 30 seconds long. What is happening? Why is this here? Did you get anything from this?
LOL WCW.
Martin.
LOL WCW.
Martin, they're raising the stakes for the... I can't even finish that now. Kill me.
Okay. We got to Norman
Yay! Smiley. I love Norman Smiley.
And Prince Iakea.
Yeah.
Who?
It is at this point that I noticed that Kidman did not have a shitty video. That is everyone's entrance video.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
What the fuck, WCW?
Yeah, graphic design was a new field.
Look, they spent their budget on pyro.
The pyro?
Yeah.
Half-working pyro?
That was it. That was their budget.
Tony immediately starts talking about Ric Flair, how he has never been more focused for a match in his life. Against Eric Bischoff?
I could beat up Eric Bischoff.
That's like coming to Stone Cold in like 98, 99 before a match and like, how do you think you're going to be able to attack your opponent tonight? And he's like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's the toughest son of a bitch there is, but let me tell you, that Vince McMahon, that man's
no, absolutely
it's
not.
Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff is even much more of a weenie than Vince McMahon.
Because Vince McMahon is fucking jacked.
Oh, yeah.
That's because steroids.
Well,
it's like, well, I got to be honest with you. Howard Finkel's been hitting the gym recently.
I'd wrestle Howard Finkel.
Yeah. These people refuse to comment on the match unless there is a
frustrating.
cover.
It was frustrating.
It is. Iakea executes a great snap suplex. You would not know it listening to the commentators, but he does. Norman gets a few really nice holds in a chicken wing, an armbar. Iakea counters the armbar. Norman does the weird doggy style taunt thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like a very serious submission wrestler with the name of Smiley, and then he like
and
sex dances in the ring.
Dance.
Yeah,
because
oh my god, he's Scooter. He's Scooter.
A little bit. Yeah. Submission wrestling with a little bit of dancing.
Yeah, well, some light dancing. And the thing is, Smiley uses moves I didn't even know how to name properly.
Like the figure 4 leg choke?
Right.
That is why I love Norman
that shit was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's jacked.
Oh, yeah. He's like Black Cesaro.
Yeah, I know, right?
His very technical style is in disagreement with his little dances, but I like it.
Yeah,
it really gives him a character.
It's fun.
Prince Iakea, not to be outdone, hits one of the most beautiful Northern Light suplexes.
Oh my god!
All of a sudden, you get this like super technical match.
Oh my god! It was great. And it was, you know what? Honestly, perfect after what we just saw.
Yeah.
So good.
You would not know it to listen to the announcers.
Oh, of course.
And that's what really took away from this match because all this cool stuff is happening, but this match just felt like it went on forever.
Yeah.
I will say though, with that, I would actually argue that Norman never uses a rest hold.
No,
because his holds are changing. They're different.
It's just it's one of those things. It's just like, wow, this match is still going on. Cool stuff is happening, but it's like, okay, yeah, this match.
Norman Smiley wins the match at 11:32 with a body scissor chicken wing. Which is
apparently it's called a Norman Conquest.
Is that not the greatest name in the world?
That's incredible. And actually, so the homoerotic quote of this match was, usually the man who drops to his knees first can get the leverage.
As you do.
And I tell you, I swear to God, I need to start a Tumblr that superimposes, like, wrestling commentator quotes over stock images from gay porn. I need to do it.
You do that.
You know, we have a Tumblr. You just start doing that.
All right, well, this is now a gay porn Tumblr. Yeah.
This is a very nice change. I mean, it's a wrestling Tumblr. It's already halfway there. It's a very nice change of pace from the previous two matches. No big real spots, but Norman looked very strong. Prince Ikea looked like he knew what he was doing, and we did not get any outside interference. The match did run a little bit long for me. But I thought it was a really good contrast to everything. So I ended up giving this one a 4. Ryan, what'd you think?
I gave it a 3 because I feel like while I appreciated how technically great both of these guys are, so much of this match was just Norman Smiley with Prince Iaukea in some submission hold. And it's not that they were rest holds, but like mostly it was like a squash match that just kept going.
Right.
Because Prince Iaukea got like maybe a few moves, and mostly this was just Norman Smiley like wiping his dick on Prince Iaukea. And like it was a perfectly solid match. It was technically cool, but yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah, like I love Norman Smiley. I love that. I love technical wrestling. By all rights, I should give this one a 4 based on the work, but just with the commentators not giving a shit about the match. Yeah. And a little bit of a long run time for what the kind of match it was, I'm going to have to go with a 3 on it. Very, very, very solid 3 for the reasons already stated.
You may be asking the question, where are they now?
Where are they?
No one is asking that.
Norman Smiley was not hired by WWE after the sale of WCW. So he went to the independents, spent some time in TNA, AAA, and would later come back to WWE as a trainer, where he is now.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Prince Iaukea is 50 fucking years old and is trucking along in the indies.
Wow.
Really?
Jesus.
Oh, but it's probably the sad kind of indies where you show up and just feel bad for being
like Jake Roberts or
Scott Hall.
It's like
Tony Atlas.
It's like
or Scott Hall.
There's like the good indies where you have the young talent, and then the bad indies that just hire old talent and make you feel bad.
Did either of you guys see the really depressing documentary about Scott Hall?
We're getting there.
Okay. Yeah, like the 30 for 30.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Scott Hall fats out from the back. No NWO music, which is
it was really weird. It's just like it was nothing.
He was just walking,
and they make a point of
people were going nuts for him though.
Well, but they made a big point of it that like he doesn't come out to intro music. He doesn't need it.
Well, because he got kicked. I think he got kicked out of the NWO Black and White because there was the Wolfpack storyline going on right now. So I think
because it had to split up into 40 fucking factions. Because they didn't know what the hell to do with it. No NWO music, like I said, but some company shill is sitting in the front row waving around a giant NWO credit card.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're waving it around.
Awesome.
Whew.
I was so angry when I saw that its expiration date was not for life. I was like, you missed a perfect. I was like, you missed a perfect fucking opportunity, and you missed it.
Scott says this year has not been the best year for him.
Has any year been good for Scott Hall?
This was the saddest promo I have. This was like. This was like.
It kind of went on.
This was like a phone call with a relative who like ruined their life and is sobbing on the phone to you.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was so sad.
Scott Hall has battled a lot of stuff. He says that Kevin Nash has a great opportunity tonight. He says that 99 is going to be his year.
It wasn't. It was not.
I'm not gonna. There's a lot of stuff that you can read about Scott Hall, but let's kind of go over everything. Scott Hall continued to wrestle in the Indies, WWE. He would even take his first ever bump on thumbtacks in Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Oh, good.
That is the low point of anyone's career.
He has battled with drugs and alcohol for a very, very long time. Following an incident in 1988 where he legitimately shot and killed a man, claiming self-defense. The charges were dropped due to a lack of evidence. But
Scott Hall killed a guy.
Scott Hall killed a man. He killed a man. We talk shit about Vince being ruthless a lot here, but after Hall was released from TNA, WWE paid for him to go to rehab.
Vince is a harsh businessman, but decent person.
No, he's not.
Like,
I would argue that Vince... Hold on. I would say that when you say that he's a decent person, there are some things that he does that are very nice. Mm-hmm. He does have
I did not say good.
He has a few touching moments.
Right.
I mean,
his attitude.
I'm sure Benito Mussolini enjoyed petting kittens. That doesn't make him a good dude.
I would say that he does not have a very good attitude when it comes to, say, poor people or minorities or women.
Because he is an old guy, an old conservative white businessman.
Well, let's not excuse that shit.
But also he doesn't. But also the fact that he specifically does not pay for the health care of wrestlers, and his thing is like, "What? I pay them enough; they can get private insurance." And specifically, okay, so these guys, your bread and butter is the thing that gives them injuries, and you're not going to make sure they're okay. Like maybe a few guys who make you a lot of money, but for the most part,
yeah. To be fair, I don't think WWE can afford anybody's insurance.
Look, for the cheap price of $9.99, you can.
Give someone insurance.
In 2013, DDP invited Hall to move in with him, like Jake Roberts had done, trying to help him clean up completely. With yoga and sobriety, DDP helped him quite a bit. Even initiated a fundraising drive, earned $110,000 to pay for hip replacement surgery and dental work for Scott Hall. Scott Hall is doing a bit better now.
Yeah, he was on Raw recently, and he was really coherent and actually
he for a long time he was when DDP went to pick him up from the airport. Scott Hall was in a wheelchair. He showed up to a wrestling match on the indie circuit somewhere, and he had 3 bottles of pills with him and was in a wheelchair and was just screaming at people.
And it's not even okay. So obviously we enjoy sort of making fun of certain wrestlers and certain conventions. There was nothing funny about this. This was fucking sad.
It's really not. But there are a few close friends and an ex-girlfriend or ex-wife that said that his problems are actually not necessarily just being addicted to drugs. A lot of it comes from post-traumatic stress, because he says that he has nightmares about shooting that guy all the time.
Yeah, that'll do it.
This is the darkest fucking podcast.
Wow,
yeah,
this
really
and this right after laughing about Norman Smiley's humping motions, and then also the most depressing shit in the world. Yeah,
it really is.
So now we get a video package with Bam Bam killing Hall. Now this is supposed to set up.
What was it setting up?
This was supposed to set up the reason why Goldberg and Nash hate each other, and it opens with Bam Bam Bigelow throwing Scott Hall into a... Ryan, did you see what he threw Scott Hall into?
I did not.
A Surge vending machine.
Oh my god, I love Surge.
Wow. That is more 90s than the Matthew Perry, Jennifer Aniston Windows 95 video.
It shows us on a past Nitro how Hall, Nash, Bam Bam had a three-way match. Hall interfered. How does Goldberg fit into this?
I honestly don't know what this promo was trying to promote.
Because what we get is we get all of this, and then at the end, there's all these referees in the back that are trying to keep Nash and Bam Bam from killing each other, and then they cut to a different shot, and it's the same area, but another camera zooms in, and it's Goldberg is back there, and he's yelling at Nash. I see that we are at point B now. I kind of missed the drive because there was apparently a very important catalyst that we are just not privy to. Well, it makes it
look like Bigelow is involved in this match somehow. And, this is the first time anyone's mentioned that.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to start right back to the action. But I do want to take a moment to talk about Bam Bam Bigelow. Did you know that in July 2000, Bam Bam Bigelow received second-degree burns to 40% of his body.
Jesus, what?
After rescuing 3 children from a burning house.
Oh my god.
Legitimate.
Oh man, he's a superhero.
I liked Bam Bam Bigelow before. Holy shit.
2 years after this, he made an appearance with Hot Rods, which is a company that does custom car work. They made 14 cars with his trademark flames on them. They sold those, and all proceeds went to local charities.
Awesome.
So, man, a guy that looks like Bam Bam Bigelow, you're like, this guy's going to knife me in the neck in the parking lot, and
nicest fucking
as it
guy.
turns out, just a fucking sweetheart.
It's like head tattoos and all.
Yeah.
He was found dead in 2007, January 19th, 3 days before my birthday.
Happy birthday, Marty.
He was 45 years old. He had toxic levels of cocaine and an anti-anxiety drug. Those do not mix, as it turns out.
Imagine so.
Yeah, and you kind of realize a lot of wrestlers really don't make it to 50.
He had such bad back problems.
Well, with that moonsault, I'm not surprised.
Ernest the Cat Miller with Sonny Ono versus Perry Saturn. Cat cuts a heel promo in the ring, telling fans to shut up. They should be glad to see him, all while making the word athlete have 3 syllables.
Athlete. I love this character.
Athlete.
Oh my god.
Well, at least somebody does.
No,
oh, what?
no, the cat, and actually, the thing is, the cat makes me think of the sci-fi series Red Dwarf, because he reminds me of a guy on that show who was actually a cat.
No, I just love that he's just like,
yeah.
I'm a lethal weapon. You got 5 seconds to leave the ring. Just all that stuff is awesome.
That part is cool.
The
ring announcer comes in really loud, and he says, "His opponent!"
I noticed that. It almost
and then he's never heard from again.
Never again.
I was like, oh my god, my speaker's going to blow out. And I heard Heenan go, huh, who was that? Because
right. They didn't know what the fuck was going on either. It's fine. It's just Starrcade.
See, but the sad thing... the sad thing was the cat couldn't draw any heat to
and
save
not even with
his
Sonny
life.
Ono.
No, not even with Sonny Ono. And I think the crowd at this point was about as anesthetized as I felt.
No.
I felt bad. I legitimately do like Ernest Miller. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I like the cat, but just this pay-per-view in general, everybody looks really...
I'm not going to say that Saturn had a great theme in WCW, but WWE on the network, what the fuck is this? We have the most horrendous-sounding sirens with MIDI guitar.
His entrance music could be used to torture people.
It is worse than his chainmail vest and red bandana.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Ernest gives Saturn the 5 count to leave.
It's awesome.
And
so awesome.
Because he's a gentleman.
And the entire time he's counting,
sure.
Saturn is just
winding up a punch.
And Ono the entire time is trying to get
cartoon character.
Ernest to look like what? He's gonna punch you.
And Bobby says Ernest may wind up on the South Lawn because the longer you wind up a punch, the stronger it is.
Clearly, wrestling has the same physics as
we know.
Cartoons.
Stalling tactics all day, day. As he begins walking away, Cat turns, tries to slide in, and hit him.
Oh my god, I love this so much. And he misses it, and Sarah just looks
But Miller just stops short.
Okay,
he's just like...
Okay, that bit where the cat slides into the ring right as Perry Saturn turns around and he looks up and kind of this is
what
awkward.
Was his plans? It looked like he was going to tickle his ankles.
It was amazing. His plan was to be hilarious. And
he was like,
it worked.
And they proceeded to have a match.
Kind of. You know, Saturn gets some really nice mat wrestling in. I'd forgotten that people in WCW could actually wrestle. But after watching WrestleMania 1 through 4, I'd kind of forgotten that just about anybody could wrestle.
Yeah.
Right.
See, like, I was kind of surprised at how the wrestling that Saturn was pulling off. And watching Ernest Miller, it felt like most of his offense was sidekicks. Like, it just, I don't know, he's probably a good fighter, but as a wrestler, I think his skills were a little bit green at this point.
He was no, that was someone else. I'm sorry.
He was a black belt in karate.
Yeah, he was Karate tournament fighter.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess he's a legit fighter, but I think his skills were kind of green at this point as a wrestler.
Yeah, and the thing is also we're meant to be intimidated by Perry Saturn, and it didn't really work for me.
No, it did not.
He just looked bloated.
Yes.
Nice array of suplexes from Saturn, followed by a swinging neckbreaker, and then the cat catches Perry with a back kick after he just jumps off the top rope. Like when they're like, "I'm gonna hit you," but he doesn't even raise his arm for an axe handle or anything. He just jumps off the top rope to get kicked.
Yeah,
that always looks so horrendous. He invites his manager in, who tries a flying kick. Saturn dodges.
And the referee's like, "What are you doing? You're going to get disqualified." What were they doing? What was their plan?
But so Saturn is able to hit the cat with the Death Valley driver.
That was cool.
I do love a good Death Valley driver.
Yeah.
Right. It looks painful.
It's awesome. And 7 minutes, 6 seconds. I agree with you. They had a match, but it was brought up by his some of the comedy moments. Mm-hmm. The cat, he's definitely not anywhere near my favorite wrestler.
No.
Although there was a wrestler that ranked the top 500 pro wrestlers, and he was ranked number 497. And that's kind of how I feel. But he was he was funny. His offense was just terrible. He's not a good in-ring performer.
No.
What did you think about this one, Scooter?
Okay. In my heart of hearts, this is a 2. I would rate this a 2. But just for the character and some good wrestling from Saturn, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. There's really not too much to say about it because it was a match. But yeah, I gave this one a 3.
I agree completely, Ryan.
Would you say that it was a happening?
Damn it!
There was an occurrence. I gave it a 2 out of 5 because there was nothing particularly stand out about this match. It was nothing really to say. 2 out of 5.
I gotcha. Scooter, would you like to ask me a question here?
Do you love me?
Would you like to ask me a different question?
Where are these people now, Ryan? Marty?
Close enough.
You're just beautiful as
You
Ryan.
got there eventually.
In April of 2004, Perry Saturn came to the aid of a woman who was being raped by 2 men. For his trouble, he was shot by a .25 caliber handgun twice. In the back of the neck and in the shoulder. After this, he became addicted to meth and was homeless for quote-unquote a few years.
I did not know this.
What?
But he did return to wrestling by the end of 2010.
Oh, 2010. I thought, okay. That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's rough.
God damn it. Man, I thought Starrcade 98 was going to be wacky fun.
No.
And then, no. Jesus Christ.
I think that, one of the things that we try and do is look at the wrestlers as people and seeing the choices that they make. And, a lot of times when you look at somebody like even Hulk Hogan, who after his wife left him a few days after his son got in that horrific accident, and then they started getting lawsuits out the ass for that. And so Hulk Hogan was taking a lot of pills and he realized he was just staring in the mirror one day and he had a gun in his mouth, and he's just I don't even remember picking this up and putting it here, and he just stared at himself in the mirror with a gun in his mouth for a few hours.
And that's the thing, is that we hate Hulk Hogan as a person and as a wrestler, but nobody deserves to feel like that.
It's very true. Thankfully, everybody gets something to pull them out of that, and Hulk Hogan found a younger lady that is, I want to say that she's young and she just loves him for his money. Hulk Hogan doesn't have any money anymore, really. So he seems to have had a good thing there. He's his daughter is really cool with him now, and
his son's still probably a shithead,
and his son's probably still a shithead, and he seems to be much happier now. He's he's done the whole redemption, found Jesus thing, And, if that works for somebody, I'm not going to get into religious views on the show, but if it works for you, man, whatever can pull you out of staring at yourself in the mirror with a gun in your mouth.
And not knowing how it got there.
Really
and
I know.
Yeah. And this
that's
right
the thing
before...
I want to put out. Saturn is back at wrestling. He nursed himself back to health. So, everybody hits a low point, and there's a lot of wrestlers. If you want to hear rock bottom stories, there's a joke in there somewhere with The Rock, but boy, that was in bad taste. If you want to hear some rock bottom stories that make everybody else's sound like shit, listen to wrestlers, because they've got them.
Yeah,
the lifestyle is so hard. And
that's exactly, and that's the reason that I find
money, and you get out when your body's busted. Like Ric Flair, he's so like, I think if he stopped wrestling, he would die. Like because he's like either financially, he's so he's so broke, he has to keep doing the business.
Well, and the thing is also like this is why I find it really hard to believe that Vince McMahon is a decent human being, because like, how can you be surrounded by that many people with that, putting them through that and making your money off of it and going, fuck them.
You cannot blame Vince for every
no.
who's hit rock bottom.
But
I think you're like, Vince McMahon's your straw man for the CD wrestling promoter.
No, see,
honestly,
that's the thing.
I'm not trying to I'm not an apostle for Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
But he's done great. Anyone, no matter what time you spend the company, you go to them if you need free rehab for any of their workers, past, present, or future. He's not a saint, and I wouldn't even say he's a good person. There's just the way you just are constantly trying to crush Vince McMahon.
No.
Did he personally come to your house and fire you?
See, I think that's the thing, is that professional wrestling in general, if you're a professional wrestler, you've been through
a terrible business.
Yeah, you've been through some grisly shit. I think it's just that, okay, so if he wants to be the number one guy in wrestling, he needs to step the fuck up and change, the way that wrestlers are treated, if he has any ability to do that, and I think he needs to do more.
I would agree with that. Ernest Miller would go on to wrestle for WWE after the buyout, but only for about 2 years. 2008. He would be the Ayatollah.
He was so awesome in that movie.
In the film The Wrestler.
Oh, man, that's just a good movie. I think about watching that occasionally, but then my heart gets sad.
Yeah. yeah, going back to the, if you're a professional wrestler, you are a sad individual thing. Yeah.
It's very true.
Good God.
Yeah. We come to Gene with Ric Flair.
Yay!
Yes.
Great robe and great pop. Rick coked out of his mind.
Absolutely.
And says it does not make a difference who is there in his corner, how many people are against him. But he is apparently going to kill Eric Bischoff.
I wish
this fucking promo.
I hope he does.
This kills the man.
Video package for Eric Bischoff and Flair.
It goes on so long.
But we finally get some fucking background on a storyline.
Yeah.
Right.
Bischoff is abusive and a jerk. I gotcha.
Sure.
I get why
they always go back to day one with the NWO storyline.
And it shows him bossing around referees for 40 minutes. And I'm
what does this
okay, I understand why a referee might want to fight him, but why Rick?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick gets really pissed and then has a heart attack in ring? Dude, the dude is in his 50s. Don't fucking pull that shit on him. Please don't have a storyline with an old wrestler having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Bischoff kicks his son's ass, his grandson's ass. What the fuck is happening?
And I got real sad when I heard the name Reed Flair.
Yeah.
We were we want to continue the dark train. It's oh man, that little kid's dead now.
He really is. Yeah.
Backstage segment. Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell yell at Conan, and then Lex Luger comes in. What is
What is
happening?
the point of this?
Pandemonium.
This literally builds to nothing. Nothing.
There's not even a build.
Screw it. I love the way you say the word nothing, by the way. Nothing.
No, because here's the thing. It's kind of building okay, so Scott Steiner is leading the NWO. Who let this happen? And it's sowing seeds of deceit between Conan and Lex Luger. They're not. I could see if they're having a tag team match. Why you built? It's like wrestling storytelling 101. They need to take a class on it,
right?
Because this literally is building to fuck all.
It's horrendous. So we come to Bryan Adams with Scott Norton with Virgil versus fucking Finlay.
Finlay.
Real weird.
And Jerry Flynn. Who? Not Jerry Lynn.
Jerry
I didn't know
Flynn.
who this was. I've never seen this person in my life.
It's like, are you guys ready? It's Battalica.
Yeah, I actually, in my notes I had written, because I didn't catch the name, so I was like, Brian Adams and Scott something versus Fit Finlay, exclamation point, and Meat Human.
Medium.
Finley
Battalica, featuring James Hayfield.
I would say Finley looks skinny, but he looks skinny for Finley,
Yeah.
and he looks weird. Like, that hair.
We get another shill with a different NWO credit card. They had more than one that they gave to somebody as a giant prop to stand around and hold in front row seats. How unknown are you when I recognize Virgil but not you?
Yeah, Jesus
I know,
Christ.
right? I had no idea who that tall meat human was.
Decent enough clothesline from Adams, takes Finley's head off. These two NWO members specialize in clotheslines.
They really do.
Every other Haas type wrestler.
One of them, I guess it's Norton, powers through a double clothesline attempt and then delivers one of his own. This is the clothesline for concerto. This is the concerto for clotheslines.
It really is. But I noticed one thing, that Jerry Not Flynn guy, I never saw him in the ring, like ever. Like
I think you mean Jerry Not Lynn.
Oh,
you said Jerry Not Flynn.
You fucked up.
The best part of this match was when Bobby Heenan said, he told Norton, hey, happy holidays. And they're like, did you get a response? He goes, oh, I got a response, but I'm not sure if I can do that to myself. Fucking hilarious.
What? I did not catch that.
I think Scott Norton told Bobby Heenan to go
fuck himself. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This is the most charismatic I've ever seen Virgil.
I know, right?
And
because I saw him smile.
Yeah, right.
He's
And
like-
also, the crowd was asleep for this match.
As we all were.
Yeah.
Brian Adams delivers a really nice pile driver on Finley. Looks really, really devastating.
Like, Scott, I was surprised. Like,
No cover. No cover.
Right. I was honestly surprised when I saw the NWO B squad come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh god! I was actually surprised by Scott Norton.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Dude can wrestle a little bit.
Well, okay. Here's my problem with this, because Brian Adams gives him the pile driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
No cover. He tags in Norton. Norton comes in and gives him a face squeeze after a pile driver. Like, a pile driver is a move that, okay, it's not your finishing move. You can go ahead and at least try a cover to pretend.
do go for it.
Let's
two.
pretend.
Go for two.
Right.
But no. We get a face squeeze. Norton has fewer moves than Hogan.
It's incredible. I wanted this man.
Oh, I think because it looks so similar. It's Brian. I think it was Brian Adams, like one of the NWO guys. They look kind of similar. One of those guys is actually a pretty decent worker. I can't remember who it was now.
I have written in all caps, OMG, Norton performs an inverted shoulder breaker. It's a move.
Yeah, and honestly, like
That's not a clothesline.
And honestly, like Jerry Flynn was pretty great for about 5 seconds here, and
The 5 seconds he was in the match.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like the guy, and that's what bugged me. I wanted like Brian Adams or someone to just like get the fuck out of the ring and let like. Honestly, if Brian Adams and Scott Norton could just leave, and then we could have Fit Finlay wrestling Jerry Flynn, that would have been
that'd be better.
so much better.
Yeah.
Heenan says that Norton isn't even sweating yet. Of course he isn't.
He hasn't done anything.
I moved around more than Norton did in this match when I worked at a call center.
Oh.
The commentators are at least talking a bit more about this match.
Why?
But I'd say it's like 50-50 the match, 50-50 talking about the main event. Jerry Flynn, a.k.a. the Kickmaster, has just replaced his clotheslines in his moveset with kicks. It is the only move he has. And then I have after that, edit. He has a clothesline too.
The full package.
Norton hits a powerbomb for the 3, and I was like, oh, the match is over. Thank God.
Good.
Ryan.
1 out of 5. I wanted to die.
Scooter.
1 out of 5. Was this even a match?
Well, yeah. Like, can we rate this out of 5?
This match is so drop dead boring that I had to remind myself not to fast forward through it 4 times. I was like, let me go. No, I have to watch it.
Was your finger just drifting absent-mindedly to the fast forward, and then you're like, no,
Yes,
no,
it
Dan, you
was.
stay the course.
And then I was like, no, wait, I have to actually watch this. Then I was like, is anybody going to know?
No.
As it turns out,
I'm pretty sure I
was
cooked
safe
a
all
breakfast
along.
burrito during this match.
Jesus
God.
Christ. Now, they show the replay. Flynn lazily actually gets his shoulder off the mat before the 3. Mm-hmm. So
that's a Hogan move.
That's a fucking Hogan move.
Yeah.
Someone in the back cuts to black screen too early, but because it's WCW, they're probably put in charge instead of being fired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fans woo at the camera instead of hiding their faces or complaining about this last match they just saw.
And
Ryan,
people paid money for this.
Ryan,
yes.
Would you like to ask me a question?
I would like to ask you a question. First of all, how dare you pick this pay-per-view? The second question is, where are they now?
I'm glad you asked. Brian Adams, better known as his WWF gimmick of Kona Crush.
Oh, what? Yeah, that I recognize that name.
Yeah, that iconic wrestler.
Went to All Japan Pro Wrestling after the buyout, but left to pursue a boxing career.
Wait, do you mean New Japan Pro Wrestling?
No,
there's All Japan. There's All Japan and New Japan.
Oh, okay.
Get your shit straight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He left to pursue a boxing career, but suffered a shoulder injury before his first match.
Awesome.
He went back to wrestling in Japan in 2003, lost a match, suffered a spinal injury during said match, and forced his retirement.
That's rough.
That is rough. He died August 13th, 2007. They found some illegal steroids on him, and those are thought to have played a role in his death. Following the buyout, Virgil had enough of wrestling, went on to be a math teacher in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
He would not be the most charismatic math teacher there.
No. There was probably like a 55-year-old guy there, like who had way more charisma.
He would return to wrestling sporadically. He even reprised the role of DiBiase's servant on the May 17th, 2010 episode of Raw.
Silence.
Sorry, every now and then I'm trying to not get hiccups here.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say, like, I don't even know what to add to that. Just like, oh, I guess that's a thing that happened.
Finlay worked as a trainer for the WWE, training Cena and Orton, so now we know who to blame, and even trained Divas from 2001 to 2005.
That's not a bad year for Divas.
That's really not a bad year for Divas. In fact,
I think they're the fastest growing part of the wrestling right now.
Well, there was one, I forget who exactly said it, but after 2005, we moved into like Kelly,
the
models came back.
Michelle McCool.
And they said that, if Finlay was still training them, it would not be like that because he made us work stiff. We made contact.
Like, because 2001, 2005, that's the year of Lita and Trish.
Right.
Like, so.
Tori Wilson's still hanging out.
2006 to 2009, 2010, somewhere in that era. You did have a few that came in that were good.
Mickie James.
Mm-hmm. Mickie James, fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
Gail Kim.
Everybody knows my boner for Beth Phoenix. Gail Kim is amazing. She just walked out one night.
That was hilarious. I watched that shit live. I was like, what the fuck?
Because Gail Kim was like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
And went back to TNA?
Yeah, because she can because you are allowed to wrestle if you're a woman there.
Oh, true.
Because they specifically told her, you got to tone your shit down because you're a woman.
Because there's models. You can't hurt the models.
Not just that, you're a woman.
Oh, fair enough.
They make their women work like shit.
Can't have you outshining the meat humans.
That was also just, I think, a bad year for that time period. Like that, like
that's kind of a bad year for
wrestling because people just didn't want to work.
Mm-hmm. Finlay was let go in March of 2011 after getting back into his wrestling tights when he authorized The Miz to hop on a microphone and interrupt the national anthem.
I'm pretty sure it was a German national anthem,
it was the American national.
Oh, I thought because they're overseas or something.
Well, he interrupted it. It pissed some people off, including the very, very many National Guard members that were there. Mm-hmm. Finlay said, "No, that was all me, guys. I authorized that," and left. He took full responsibility for that.
Wow.
Fuck you, Miz. It says that Finlay authorized it, not
The Miz
created the idea. The Miz did it, but you know.
Yeah.
He spent some time on the Indies before coming back as a producer for the WWE, so watch out for more people cutting promos over the national anthems for that Finlay heat. Jerry Flynn hopped over to the Indies before retiring. Who the fuck is Jerry Flynn?
No one knows.
I still have no idea.
I've seen him and I still don't know.
Yep. Like a fucking fart in the wind. That guy. He was there and then he was gone.
I have here. By the way, I should mention that match was 9 grueling minutes.
Too long.
I have Gene Okerlund, who apparently gets his own theme music, interviews Eric Bischoff, and they're like, "Oh no, it's Eric Bischoff's music. I got you. Mm-hmm.
Which just was really throwing me off because no one would know this reference, but Eric Bischoff's music that was played on the network was the same music this Let's Player named Paul Dugan used to intro his Let's Plays, and it really was throwing me off every time. It was like, I was like, am I about to watch King Quest V? Is that what's about to happen here?
Yes. Well, and honestly, like music used by WCW for their like promos and stuff, I feel like that's its own genre of butt rock.
WCW had some really bad stuff. I think WWE's heyday was there are some wrestlers that have amazing themes. CM Punk has always been really good.
Yeah.
Because he had Living Color and he had Killswitch Engage.
Which I don't like Killswitch Engage. I always hated that theme.
I'm not a huge fan, but I really like that song. I like My Curse. I like a few others. But, there's...
Also, the cover of Holy Diver is way better than the original.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
You shut your mouth.
Like, the Brood's theme...
Don't get me wrong, I would never blaspheme Ronnie James Dio, but I think their version of Holy Diver is better.
The Brood had an amazing theme and an amazing entrance. Even The Undertaker, before he switched over to Roland had...
Or American
like,
Badass.
his theme changed, and he got some guitar in The Undertaker music. Really good stuff. There's some amazing wrestler themes out there, but a lot of it is just...
crap.
Shit rock.
Yeah. Just absolutely.
I hear voices in my head. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
No, the best thing is Marty's impersonation of Junkyard Dog's intro theme, Grab Them Cakes.
I want that should be ringtone. I want that as my text message.
Like Marty.
Bottom in the butt. Bottom in the face.
Bottom in the face.
No, like Marty, I don't think you understand. So,
that really needs to be my text message.
We had ordered some pizza from Domino's and some of their lava cakes, and Christina asked me to grab the lava cakes from the table, and then looked at me and said, "I just told you to grab them cakes," and we died.
Awesome.
It's me like, bat him in the face, bat him in the butt. He's a junkyard.
Well, I'm glad that someone enjoyed it. We've had weeks leading up to this feud with Flair and Bischoff. Why is this necessary? Why is it necessary to have an interview for both of them?
It is not.
Can you not throw like Malenko and Ultimo Dragon for us?
Please,
please, God. Yeah. Eric is all about the backhanded compliments, saying Rick has a bad heart. The only reason he's still wrestling is because he's
so broke.
It's actually pretty good promo.
Yeah.
Really good heel promo.
I like. My favorite part is how he finishes it and just walks off with this shit-eating grin. He's such an
Eric
asshole.
Bischoff has a great shit-eating grin.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a great evil corporate guy.
He reminds me of an evil version of my dad.
Very good.
Chris Jericho versus Conan for one of the championships.
The TV title, because do it for more titles makes it better.
If you didn't have a title during this period, there must have been something profoundly wrong with you.
Or weren't challenging for it.
Right.
So, Chris Jericho, because this is the WWE Network, we get to break the walls down. He gets his WWE theme.
Really
off. I heard that and was like, wait, was he using that?
Like you expect 40-year-old Chris Jericho to start walking out.
Well, I was like, I thought it was like, it fooled me for a second because I was like, did he really use that theme back then?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
It's amazing. I really miss Jericho getting to say whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So good.
Just getting on a microphone and just going nuts.
He says he's out there with Ralphus.
And right now he's sort of like Seabiscuit in a petting zoo with his current working conditions.
Yeah, that's true. He says he cannot understand what Conan says.
No one can.
Conan comes out and says,
I'll show you how to rock a mic.
Good luck on that, you motherfucker. Conan's not bad.
Conan does how he rocks the mic is by stringing on catchphrases. Viva la raza,
Bowdy, I stole this from Master P.
And you know what? Yeah. It totally works. I don't give a shit. For
the crowd, yeah, it did.
Yep.
For me, Conan's you do not tell... That's like the Miz coming out and saying, "All right, look, Steve Austin, I'm going to show you how to cut a promo."
Okay, so I have like a weird thing for Conan. Like, I have a little trivia fact. This does come from Wikipedia, and I did not check the source.
Oh, shit.
But apparently, he's the guy who taught Bret Hart the Scorpion Deathlock, which is he calls it.
Conan?
Yeah, that's
No.
that's how the story. Like I said, probably not true.
Probably not true, no.
But
No. Just, I'm going to go ahead and shit on you here. No.
Jesus.
so, I want that to be true because I like Conan in character, like his character, be like, all right, essay, this is how you do it.
That would be amazing. And he's like, essay. And Bret goes, A? And he's like, no, essay. A?
Yeah. Waka
Woo!
waka.
Let's make both of our neighbors mad.
Yeah.
Now, I was excited because last match, they talked a lot about the match. So this match, now that it's a good match,
They can't talk about
Yeah.
it.
we immediately start talking
there's
about
some cool stuff happening, and I just can't
there's
pay
going to
attention
be
to it.
more shit later that's going to be awesome. They're like, fans, we're so sorry you have to sit through these really shitty people farting around in the ring.
Like I had trouble paying attention to the match because they just weren't talking. They were not calling the match.
Right.
It's really maddening.
They botched some exchanges, but it's still better than the last match.
Because at least they were fucking trying.
Nice spinning kick by Jericho. Conan crotch chops him. Jericho jumps at him for no reason. He's very clearly about to move. But I do love his cocky pins.
Yeah.
Jericho's pins.
Where he just puts his foot on your chest and flexes.
90s heel Jericho is the
There's
best
nothing
thing.
best.
When
Yeah.
he was carrying on the sign for conspiracy theory. Like
It was the best. Conspiracy victim.
Well, and honestly, and the thing is, even when I was a kid and I marked out for the faces, during Jericho's Undisputed Champion angle, I loved him because
when he was the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, and I mark out for Jericho so hard, whatever he's doing.
He's my favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Oh, really? Is he? There we go.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to hype the main event of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But, guys, we already bought the pay-per-view.
You don't have
We're
to sell
excited about it, too. Conan hits a really nice rolling lariat, and an Alabama slam. Looks horrendously painful
Yeah.
for a 2. Followed by a lion salt from Chris Jericho.
Woo!
Love it. He tries his triangle plunge to the outside. Conan moves. He lands on the steps. Looks brutal.
Because
awesome.
he specifically moved the steps there for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't remember why.
So that he could land on them.
Yeah.
He teases at the lion tamer, but Conan blocks it. He actually puts his hands on Chris Jericho's shins, which is such a simple block. Mm-hmm. But it's like the thinking man's thing.
But then they start bleeping around together like that. They're like, eh.
So Jericho gives him a catapult instead. That actually makes both men look so good.
Yeah.
That's the kind of booking that I know.
I'm pretty sure no one booked it. It was those two guys.
I think that was that was not fucking Kevin Nash.
No one cared. Those two awesome workers were like, okay, we're going to do this now.
Well, and honestly, and I didn't know squat about Conan prior to this match. I was kind of like, shit,
Really?
this guy's... Yeah, well, I mean, I was familiar
Conan's
with
not
him.
bad, dude.
Yeah.
Max Moon.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Conan?
I was aware of Conan, but I didn't really know that much about him. And while watching this, I was like, this guy's actually pretty good.
Well, we're getting on in the match, so it must be time for a ref bump. Jericho hits Conan with a belt, but only gets a 2.
No.
Conan gets his tequila sunrise on.
Which is like, what, a half Boston Crab?
Actually, funny. I think we missed actually, Chris Jericho carries the belt to the ring, but Conan is actually the TV champ. Like he just stole it from him.
We
one
did.
day.
I forgot about that.
He stole it
because Conan is the champion, but Jericho
stole
stole the
the belt.
belt.
Funny how
and
the
so he
commentators
wears
did
it
not
to
say that.
They did.
him. They did like once.
Yeah.
because they accidentally commented on the match.
Whoops. It'll happen sometimes, yeah.
Because
They commented on the story of the match.
Yeah,
not
like
the
when
match.
he was like Shivani was like, you see, fans, Jericho has the belt, but
he is not the
stole it."
champion.
Yeah, like that's about the only thing we got with
Forgot
that.
all about that shit. Yeah, it's like a half Boston Crab.
Tequila Sunrise is a good name for a move.
Yeah.
Jericho, it is. Jericho taps clean for the win.
Although possibly the least...
Conan retains.
Although
Conan retains,
See-
and yet the new.
And see, the thing is, the Tequila Sunrise, cool name for a move, but it is taken from the least badass song ever written.
or the alcohol drink.
Well, right, yeah. I just think of the Eagles, and I just picture Conan doing this while a man screams with "It's another tequila sun."
I think about getting effed up on tequila and orange juice.
Wow, all right, I guess that's.
Well then, speaking of effed up, Scooter, what'd you give this one?
This one's really tough. I really like this match, but the commentary is so horrendous.
Right.
That I have to give it a 3. Mm-hmm. It's a 4 by all rights, but just that seems to be the downfall of this pay-per-view. Anytime there's a good match, it is hurt. Like the commentary hurts it. Okay. Ryan, what's your opinions on this match?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 purely because this is coming on the heels of Bryan Adams and Scott Something versus Fit Finlay and Meat Human ?
Then this should have been a 9.
I know, right?
9 out of 2. And, I mean, the thing is, there were some amazing reversals. Conan can go. Jericho sells like a boss. 4 out of 5.
I agree. Nice job. Very tight match. 4. You might be asking yourself, where are they now?
I would be. Or I could ask you that.
Chris Jericho went on to have a very nice career in the WWE. Put out a rock album or 2, is currently feuding with Bray Wyatt, which, if it makes it to WrestleMania 31, could have the greatest fucking entrance. Sorry, the second best entrance ever. No one's gonna beat the Undertaker. Sorry,
right?
It's true.
Oh, with O Fortuna from Carmena Burana and the.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that one. Conan hopped around to TNA after the buyout. Later headed to AAA, where he still is.
Yeah.
He actually is the head booker, I believe.
Yep.
But can he book?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because AAA is actually expand. It's been traditionally a Mexican promotion, but they're actually getting some moving into the U.S. on the El Rey network, which I believe is only really out where you are, Ryan.
Oh shit! So clearly, I need to cover that if you're into Shikara.
I have
AAA is not Chikara, but we'll.
Well, yeah, no. Make no mistake, they're not the same thing. But
Yeah.
I have seen video of Jeff Jarrett in AAA. He went down there and was a heel and was throwing tortillas at the fans.
It's so awesome.
Oh my!
Sometimes I hate Jeff Jarrett, and sometimes I love him to death.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett is a really good wrestler.
He's also a horrendous bag of shit.
Oh, yeah,
but he broke 1,000 guitars and never sold a dime.
4,000.
It's true.
So now we get the most important match of Ric Flair's career.
The most hyped match of any pay-per-view.
Well, it's even more hyped than the main event.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff jogs down the ring in his fucking Tommy Dreamer outfit. His little like
starter pants.
His starter pants, his Nikes, and his
Under Armour.
Under Armour
wasn't a thing, but
it's like not a tank top; it's a sleeveless shirt,
gym shirt.
Looking for all the world like a weekend warrior car salesman who is also evil.
And they're trying to get over he studied karate for years.
Shit.
We get a little farty pyro for Rick, but they look to all fire this time, so that's good.
I'm pretty sure Ric Flair would have legit killed the guy.
His dramatic, he has this big dramatic entrance with a thing, and then takes off, and then starts running to the ring, which I didn't really think fit. I understand, but
his music, you need to sashay with that long flowing robe to the ring,
right?
And even though Ric Flair, so here, okay, I get that he comes out, he gives a little bit of that to the fans, then he sets his game face and runs to the ring. Okay, I'm with you now. Rick chases Eric, catches him, hits him with some chops in this blood feud grudge match, and then Rick pauses to strut.
Sure.
So he sets his game face, runs to the ring, hits him a few times, and then struts around. You really can't do it both ways.
You can't have serious blood feud while showboating like that.
I think you can if it's Ric Flair.
Why it's a little bit forgivable is because this is Ric Flair's first match back in a long time.
That's true.
But the thing is, he has changed the story of how he normally does by running to the ring. Mm-hmm. Last episode we talk about Roddy Piper. I'm sorry, that wasn't last. That was WrestleMania 3.
Yeah,
it's a big blur. Where Roddy cuts the promo where he's just angry instead of funny, and it's that kind of thing. That's a big choice to change your normal entrance.
Yeah, to like change up your.
And then he gets right back into strutting, like 3 minutes into the match. Eric's selling of the knee drop is a little bit over the top.
Yeah, you don't say. That was this man. Oh god, he looked like a squid, just flailing.
The ref pulls Rick away. Bischoff catches Flair with a kick to the head. The commentators start talking about his martial arts background, and he did compete as a kickboxer before WCW. That part's legitimate.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to believe.
His kick is better than Glacier's.
Yeah.
I'm sad we didn't cover Starrcade 97 because Glacier's on 97.
Oh, is he really?
See, but, do you know what I kind of wish happened during this? I wish the commentators talked about all of the previous matches during this match.
That would have been nice.
It did not happen and would never.
And start
happen.
calling the moves from it.
I just went on a tangent in my head about Glacier.
Let's save it.
Okay,
for we will have a Glacier episode.
That'll be off air. I want to tell you this, Ryan, because I'm going to hear you crack up about it.
Excellent.
It makes sense for Bischoff to strut given the storyline, but Rick is just supposed to be furious, so I don't understand why Rick is strutting. 2 blatant low blows from Rick. Sorry, 3. And then he takes off Bischoff's shirt. Rick, at this point, is now bleeding. I guess from getting kicked in the head.
Yeah, I guess.
Because Ric Flair bleeds.
His forehead scar tissue, so...
Yeah.
We do get a nice vertical suplex in this blood feud with only hatred. Mm-hmm. Flair slaps on the figure 4 in the middle of the ring, but the ref, having recently been murdered, does not see it. It's almost like you can hear people screaming, "Hey, it's time for the NWO to come out."
I know, right?
Kurt Hennig runs in and hands brass knuckles to Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, the man who is a trained wrestler and has lots of experience dealing with the pain of submission holds, fights his way through it to punch Flair in the middle of a figure 4.
Get fucked, Bischoff.
Yeah, Jesus
Here's
Christ.
the thing. Ryan.
Yeah.
I think it once or twice in our friendship, I've put you in a figure 4.
Indeed, you have.
And you know that moment where I'm like, okay, are you ready? And you're like, do it. And I apply the barest amount of pressure.
And I make the least manly noise anyone has ever made. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. You look at the figure 4 in the ring and you're like, oh, that looks like it hurts. And if you're a wrestler doing that hold, you can make it. You can work kind of loose so that you're
kill
not...
someone.
Yeah,
I noticed, Marty's put me in it once. I noticed even before he put pressure on it, it felt like my knee was going to pop out of socket.
Yeah, and if you're working loose, it's not that bad. And if you actually decide to apply the hold, you feel like your legs are never going to work again.
We have a good friend named Cameron who I got into professional wrestling, but he was a big MMA buff before and still is. Ooh. And we were we were watching some wrestling thing, and Flair slapped on a figure 4, and he was like, "Put me in a figure 4," and I was like, "Okay." So I put him in a figure 4, and he was like, "Okay, a little bit of pressure." I was like, "Okay." So I apply a little bit of pressure, and he goes, "No."
I have made some mistakes. Please do not apply the hold.
Ryan.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
1 out of 5. Fuck this match and fuck everything building up to it.
Cool beans. Scooter.
This was barely a match for TV. This could have the way this kind of was. You save your schmozzy endings for TV,
right? To close out a Monday show.
Ric Flair should have gone over based on the storyline. Unless you were going to murder his Heat dead, he should have gone over on the pay-per-view. You could do this match on a Nitro, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But fuck this match is the one because of that.
Okay. I think it's a shit match. I don't quite think it's a 1. I did go ahead and poop it in at a 2.
So what? Wait, actually, I'm gonna not that I'm contesting your rating because I think that's fair. But why did you give it a 2 instead of a 1?
It's hard to say. I thought it was better than the abortion we had earlier.
Sure, I mean that's true. Just about anything is
with NWO and Jerry Not Lynn. No. I'll tell you why I gave it a 2.
Okay.
What does Tony Schiavone say at the end of this match? He calls this match a travesty of justice.
That's right. He did call it that. Holy shit. Oh, well, okay.
I have it in all caps, and I was jumping up and down, and my girlfriend comes down, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, you called it Travis! Yes!
Purely for the name drop, yeah.
Yes. We do expect those royalty checks in, Tony. Just saying.
Yeah, you gotta pay us.
Yeah,
like
thanks.
Immediately.
Fuck you, pay me.
Where are they now? Ric Flair. Oh, man.
Destitute and penniless.
Rick spent some time after WCW shut down in WWE, including having one hell of a retirement match at WrestleMania 24.
Oh, it was so great.
We'll get there.
But more on that later. He also spent time in TNA, though in more of a managerial position, running to the ring and blading anytime someone sneezed too close to him.
Hogan and him had a match in TNA. I watched it, and I wanted to claw my eyes out.
Oh, my God.
You don't say.
Yeah.
We should cover that.
No.
I don't even know how
Was
we
that
watched
on pay-per-view?
No, it was like on. It was on because
no.
the thing about TNA is TNA is the dying carcass of WCW.
Yeah.
Because they try to do everything WCW did, like let's pop the ratings. So they do everything on Impact instead of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they don't care about pay-per-view buys.
And god damn it, I want to support TNA just for being competition for WWE, but god damn it, I can't. I just can't.
Sometimes cancers need to be removed.
It's true.
For greater things to show up.
No, yeah, you're right.
Flair is known for his real-life feuds. He and Bret Hart really didn't care for each other. Scooter, tell us about how he felt about Scott Hall.
He once said there was a famous match between Scott Hall and Bret Hart.
Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall.
You said Bret Hart. You got stuck in my head. All right. So there was a famous match between Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall.
Good job.
As Razor Ramon, and they had a ladder match for some title. And Ric Flair once said that Shawn Michaels spent 20 minutes wrestling a ladder instead of Scott Hall because in his opinion, Scott Hall was just there. He was essentially the ladder in this match.
I think the quote was Scott Hall is famous because he was in the ring while Shawn Michaels wrestled a ladder.
There we go.
Yeah.
What did he say about what happened between he and Mick Foley, Ryan?
Well, Mick Foley obviously had a very contentious relationship with Ric Flair because he was a wrestler who had once met Ric Flair. He said about Ric Flair that Ric Flair was every bit as good on the wrestling side of wrestling as he was bad on the booking side of wrestling because the guy could not book. As
right.
a lot of wrestlers who end up being bookers kind of can't do it. Maybe they're too
very different skill set.
Yeah, right.
Well, like they have too much of an ego.
Yeah,
they can't really,
yeah, and which of course is why you never ever ever give Hulk Hogan a creative control clause in his contract.
Well, yeah, no.
And then, in reference to Mick Foley, Ric Flair said, he'll never be remembered as anything other than a glorified stuntman. Which, while kind of ungracious, kind of true about Mick Foley's wrestling. Like, I love Mick Foley.
Mick Foley used to be able to wrestle until he probably got tossed off the cage at King of the Ring.
Yeah, and King of the Ring 98 is what I show people who are like, wrestling's fake. Like, is it? That is fascinating because
watch this man die.
That is a tooth in a man's nose.
right. And then, so King of the Ring is what I showed them to point out. You know, the fact that it's fake is not a critique. That's the point that it's fake.
The matches are fixed.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. Anybody
scripted, people dying.
Yeah. Like, if you want to, New Jack once killed a guy.
Well, that's
New Jack.
Oh, New Jack. Excuse
and
me.
fuck New Jack.
Fuck New Jack. But yeah, so yeah.
We should have a policy like the network does and just not talk about New Jack.
What, the Chris Benoit policy? Never ever ever talk about it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, my favorite thing that he said is about Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas was saying, how, well, his politicking, he'll never let me get over.
Shane Douglas is also kind of a crybaby.
Holding me down. And Ric Flair said, well, maybe you should start, taking responsibility for your own actions. And if you, maybe you should stop using steroids to try and get over. If you want to fight me, if you want to come meet me anytime, anywhere, just pull that needle out of your ass.
Jesus.
Damn.
So, Ric Flair don't fuck around, apparently.
No. Ric Flair don't give a fuck.
Eric Bischoff was let go of WCW in late '99. Then he was brought back.
Because Vince Russo had complete control.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord.
And then WCW folded. He worked for Vince McMahon in the WWE for several years before jumping ship to
Which actually he
TNA.
was really good as the GM figure
was pretty good.
on Raw for a while.
We get a video package for DDP and the Giants.
Yeah.
So, of course, our video package for DDP and the Giants starts out with Bret Hart.
Oh, yeah! This is the most confusing thing for me. Because, like, this seems to be the theme of the pay-per-view. Of any kind of promos, like it's showing, like, one feud, but it's not actually happening. You're not seeing it at Starrcade.
Yeah.
Sorry. Starrcade, like WrestleMania, is supposed to be where you, like, blow off feuds.
Yeah, it's supposed
not
to be
carry them over. Like, I was, like, sitting here, like, during this whole time, it's like, why is DDP not wrestling Bret Hart? Like, why does he have to go through the Giant? Like, why couldn't, like, the previous pay-per-view, he fought the Giant? I don't get it.
Bret Hart and the Giant defeated DDP in a no DQ match. Giant had run in, of course. We see the Giant attacking DDT before an altercation with Bret. The Giant dismantles the WCW sign on the entranceway, choke slams DDP through the world's flimsiest stage.
What, that motherfucker, he went through it with his elbow. Like, he didn't land on, like,
yeah.
flat. He was, like, on his side.
Oh, it's pretty bad. The video package ends with, no shit, a call your cable company to order Starrcade now.
Seriously? Maybe this promo was on Nitro, and they re-aired it.
I understand that.
I would hope.
We are, I was actually blown away by this. I paused it at this point and made my girlfriend come down and look at it.
Look at this.
And she, too, was blown away. The Giant versus Diamond Dallas Page. Giant mocks DDP's little diamond symbol.
That was awesome.
Nice job. DDP's music is definitely not Smells Like Teen Spirit on the WWE Network.
Right.
No,
absolutely not.
He runs through the crowd. The crowd looks like they're responding well to him, but I think you can't hear the cheers over the entrance music edits. The Giant, showing more panache than he ever has since, is just calmly sitting on the top rope, chewing gum through DDP's entrance.
That was pretty great.
Good on you, Paul White. Mike Tenay says that DDP has promised to find a way to use the diamond cutter on the Giant. Find a way. Grab him and fall down.
No, but Marty, he's so
not
tall.
The jackhammer. Holy shit,
he's
guys.
so tall.
Or he won't. He's too heavy to fall down?
It's like, yeah, the Giant is fuck big. He's, 7 feet.
Yeah.
DDP is like 6'8". You've got at least, you can reach 4 inches above your head, right?
No. He can't do it.
No.
Anyway, Giant, spits his gum. DDP spits his spit. Very nice. Very nice. In this epic struggle of DVP versus the immovable Leviathan of the Giant, who we are supposed to wonder whether or not can be hit with a diamond cutter, he can easily be clotheslined over the top rope in the first 30 seconds of the match. Who the fuck booked this? Oh, wait. Kevin Nash.
Jesus.
Props to the Giant on the nice move, though.
Yeah.
Good stuff. DDP gets thrown over the guardrail and onto a trash can that seems to be taking up space at the front row of a pay-per-view. Like they do.
Like you do. Just put a fucking garbage can in the front row.
Like that. Fill it with weapons. EC dub. EC
dub. DDP pulls it up so Giant punches it instead. Then DDP slaps him over the head with it. I guess it's a no DQ match.
I guess?
Sure.
Tony Schiavone, summoning all of his charisma, quips, "That's what you call taking out the trash."
God.
Bop, bop, bop.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
They are breaking out all the stops for sure.
Yeah, they're really lowering the boom on commentary over there. It's incredible.
The ref still pretends that he's counting on them like a count out. Very nice booking as Giant press slams him from the outside back into the ring over the top rope.
Yeah, that's always cool.
Looked fucking amazing.
Yep.
And then I have in my notes, is the Giant using a submission hold?
Yeah, he so I think so. It's before this is years before the Colossal Clutch.
That was good stuff. Tony Schiavone, after DDP has failed multiple attempts of getting out of this hold through conventional mean, suggests, Maybe an eye gouge will work. What the fuck, Tony? Are you a heel announcer now?
Apparently.
I didn't think they had those in WCW.
Bobby.
Well, not really.
Look, immediately after he says this, Tony gouges him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Or sorry, DDP gouges him in the eyes.
Oh, there
It'd
you
be
go.
much better if Tony Schiavone ran down to the ring.
You know, the thing is though, post Hogan, you can be the most Captain America Golden Boy motherfucker possible and still use a heel moveset and nobody questions it.
It's true. But it's funny because Tony is so biased, but like he it's just, is he Gorilla Monsoon on 11? I don't get it.
I think so.
Since
They need Jesse Ventura to regulate.
Since this is later on the card, now the commentators are just talking about the match and what led up to this match.
Oh, I'm so glad they could make it.
And then in all caps I have bear hug.
Bear hug!
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look cool. I hate the bear hug.
It goes on forever.
Yeah, it really does.
This match is pretty much just giant offense.
Yep.
And I like the story around that. Mm-hmm. They're working the story very well.
There's a lot of just fun stuff like happening in this match.
Yeah, and I think this match had some of the most psychology of any of the matches.
I agree. A second diamond cutter attempt gets a really nice pop from the fans, but Giant pushes him off, delivers a really awesome looking power slam. Looks awesome.
Yeah, and the Giant was actually in pretty good form here, and of course this is pre the big slow period for Paul White.
Yeah.
And he's really moving in this match.
He pins DDP but pulls him up twice.
Yes.
Yep.
Dad, wherever you are, that would be a 180-day suspension and a $100,000 fine.
That is so many.
The ref asks him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'll pin him when I'm damn good and ready."
Yeah.
Yes. That's awesome.
It is amazing. DDP gets attempts to get up, and two aggressive blowjobs fail to bring down the Giant. Another bear hug.
Wait, Scooter. Wait, no, Scooter. We both harmonized perfectly on that ugh, and I just wanted to point that out.
That's gonna be the stinger. That's gonna be the stinger. Everybody's like, "What do they mean by stinger? Have you guys not listened?" There's like, "Shit, I'm gonna go back." Fuck. DDP starts biting him, and then attempts a sunset flip on the Giant.
What?
Why not?
Yeah.
This ring veteran, DDP.
Well,
He gets lifted into a double choke. The Giant delivers a choke slam backbreaker, following a huge ooh from the crowd and from me.
Yeah, that looks fucking painful.
Oh my god. Fuck the choke slam. Make that your move.
Right.
And then later he kind of would.
I've been pretty familiar with the chokeslam backbreaker combination because there's a storyline in Chikara where there's a big bad who's literally killing guys with that move. Like he's doing this to people and they get removed from the roster page. Like,
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And he's like the biggest guy I've ever seen. Like he's like
Just
7 feet tall, and he's
dude.
just like there's a little guy named Kobold who's a wrestling goblin. Just roll with me.
Yes.
And he's like
It's my kind of wrestler.
Kobold tried to spear the guy, and he just looked down at him, picked him up, carried him around for the ring a little bit, and just murdered him dead.
Murdering goblins. It's a rough life.
That's what you need.
Yep.
We get a really nice float over DDT from DDP. And now both men are down. Goes for a cover, throws DDP off, lands on the ref, who dies.
Yeah, I assume they look for their refs amongst like sort of hemophiliacs and people who sort of faint easily at the sight of punches.
You know, it's like the refs never bleed, but if they would bleed like Ric Flair.
They would, just gushing.
I was always really sad in WCW and W Revenge. Well, so it wasn't like any game, the SmackDown games where they actually had the ref in the ring. I wish you could like hit them enough with the stop signs to have the refs bleed or something like that. Would be hilarious. But anyways,
Fans immediately start looking off screen for someone that should be running in, and it's Bret Hart with a chair.
Oh, good.
hey, Bret Hart.
My
He
favorite.
goes to crack DDP, but hits the Giant instead. DDP low blows Hart, and the Giant kicks out at 1. Good booking.
Wait,
Look
at what point in the match is this? How far are we into the match and he kicked out at 1?
No. But because he's the Giant,
Yeah.
And it makes sense at this point.
Because he hasn't really taken that much offense.
And he gets hit with a chair, and he kicks out at 1. That shit is like...
That's how you make a monster.
That to me, I'm okay with it because the Giant is 7 fucking feet tall.
Also because
his name is the Giant.
It's cool. It's cool. DDP hits a top rope clothesline, and then a sequel. Then shows the sign for the Diamond Cutter. He heads back up to the top rope, gets caught in a choke. Giant goes to choke slam him off the top rope. DDP reverses it into a Diamond Cutter.
So awesome.
Yeah, it looks really good.
That was a great spot.
But DDP is so proud of himself here, I want to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, it looked cool. Lay the fuck down and pin him.
Pin him. Do it.
But still, like, not the coolest Diamond Cutter that's ever been.
I would agree with that.
Because there was a little reverse out of a jackhammer. That was fucking amazing.
I'm glad the interference didn't end the match, and I suppose the chair shot helped have the Diamond Cutter keep the big man down. I was actually pretty involved in the match. Really have to give the Giant, now Big Show, credit here. I was impressed by him here. I actually would have liked to see them get over how unstoppable he is by having him kick out of the Diamond Cutter. Maybe have to get another 2 in a row or something like that before staying down. But I felt this was a very solid 4. Scooter.
Yeah, I give this one a 4 because this was incredibly fun and just kind of all over the place with the various stuff. It felt like a blow-off match that I wished he was having with Bret Hart, though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. Ryan,
I gave it a 3 out of 5 purely because, like, again, the psychology was really, really great. But it was a really good story match. But the problem was, it didn't make any goddamn sense for Bret Hart not to actually be involved in the match in a more meaningful way. And then, on the other hand, a lot of this match was bear hugs.
Yeah.
They went on forever. So, yeah, 3 out of 5.
Okay. Where are they now?
Where are they now?
DDP would go to WWE, and then later TNA after the buyout, like everybody did.
Which, by the way, side note, I feel like what Bo Dallas is doing right now was done by DDP, where he's sort of like an evil inspirational speaker guy.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. After the wrestling came his focus on yoga for regular guys, later DDP Yoga, which is credited for not only just helping turn around Scott Hall and Jake Roberts, but there was a war veteran who had been on crutches for 15 years, and now he can walk and run again without braces or anything.
Yeah, DDP's a good guy.
Yep.
Paul White, a.k.a. The Giant, a.k.a. Big Show, would actually sign a 10-year fucking contract with WWE in February of 99. He's fucking gone after this. He's still wrestling with WWE now. He would go on to be the only person to hold all 4 big titles, WWE, WCW, ECW, and WWE's rebranded WCW title, the World Heavyweight Championship.
Jesus.
Still my favorite belt.
Yep.
Big gold belt.
I'm going to have to give it to the WWF's 80s, early 90s Eagle Wing. That's a good looking...
Yeah, I love that big gold belt.
Fuck the people with the 2 unified belts now. Make one belt, bring that shit
I think they're heading.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm really going to have to go with the late 90s hardcore champ. I can't even finish that.
No, they've got the new belt. Have you not seen it?
I guess not.
They've already shown the new belt.
Okay.
It's just a belt with the new WW logo.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought when he handed the big gold belt to Ric Flair, it was them sitting off the big gold belt.
I'm okay with that, but Jesus Christ. Yeah. That fucking WWE logo.
It's,
very pointy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's time for that shitty video package for Nash and Goldberg again.
Oh, good.
Now, let me tell you what I learned from this. Goldberg speared Nash once. Okay. So now we get Kevin Nash versus Goldberg, who is the champion. Did you know Goldberg is 173-0 here?
I did know that.
I did not know.
They kept talking about that.
Michael Buffer comes on screen. He gets paid his $200,000 or so to come out and roll his R's.
That's such a fucking waste.
It is.
Yeah.
Pause there because I'm going to introduce, or I'm going to cut in how much he made per minute, which was Hope's suggestion. Hold on. Nash is actually showing some worry in the ring, really playing up the role here. I thought that was really nice. We get a standard Goldberg entrance that is longer than the match. Though I'll tell you what fucking ruined it for me. The random autograph signing?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
You're like, wait, Hold up.
I've got to help this kid.
Sign this shirt.
Which when you're trying to build up a guy as an unstoppable monster,
you're a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that shit.
Yeah, somewhat ruined.
Why does he need an armed guard to bring him to? Like he's supposed to be like the toughest man
opponents
ever.
Have an armed guard?
Yeah, he's supposed to be like the toughest man in the universe.
It's so that he doesn't murder people.
Squad of eight dudes.
I do like his entrance. It makes no sense that it has all the people. Although Chris Jericho's like beef with Goldberg, where he would like have two guys and they would walk from backstage, but they would get like lost and everything.
It was like Spinal Tap.
So, oh my god, fuck this man! I can't. I can't hold it in.
Yeah,
I'll let it out. I'll let it out.
I feel that
we've been hearing 173-0 all night. Michael Buffer says it's 174.
God
job, Buffer.
Damn it! I've seen fanfic
It's cool.
with more
He only got paid
consistency.
200 grand.
He can't be bothered. This isn't boxing.
Yeah.
They ring the bell, even though they already rang the bell for Buffer. It's nice for me because I get to keep track of match lengths.
Right. And actually, and it's funny because as they ring the bell, I think Bobby the Brain Heenan mentions about Goldberg, I've never seen that look on that man's face. Yes, you have, and it's the poopin' face. This man looks like he is poopin'.
He does look like he's pooping. All the time.
All the time, constantly.
Big stare down between the two. Goldberg chant starts up. Nash gives the Wolfpack sign, gets a huge pop. Goldberg has to jump up on the ropes and raise his arm to another huge pop. Okay. Both.
I like this intro. Like
I do. I
fuck
love
this
it.
match, but like the atmosphere.
I love the
really
atmosphere. Oh god, the atmosphere for this one.
Yeah.
You know what? It was a big match feel.
Yeah, totally.
This finally felt like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
I just wish these two were better wrestlers.
Yes.
Yes.
Nash gives the. I'm reading the same damn line. Two men lock up, weep around the ring. Mike Tenay says Goldberg put his hand in the face of Kevin Nash, maybe trying to get under the skin of Big Sexy.
Nothing gay. Absolutely nothing gay. Although I'd also like to point out here, we make a lot of reference to bleeping around the ring, and I almost feel like we should draw a distinction between actual wrestling terms and just us terms. About like, and then they
Bleeping is not a real thing.
Or nor is
It's
fatting.
kind of what you say. Yeah, it's kind of what you say when people kind of like
Bleep.
I don't know how to describe bleeping. It's just like move around.
You know it
awkwardly.
when you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or have we developed our own Carney speak in addition to
A little bit.
Well, technically, bleeping was something that Cameron and I did.
Right.
And Cameron, if you're ever watching, he knows about bleeping.
The fatting is when the big fat guy just fats somebody.
Yeah, just kind of aggressively.
Actually,
fat,
anybody can fat to the
Yeah, that's
True.
exactly the thing. Fatting is not dependent on actual physical size. You just kind of fat
or body fat percentage.
Yeah.
Anybody can fat to the ring.
It's true.
There's lots of stalling at the beginning, which for these two people, the main event of a big pay-per-view of the year, this is perfect.
Kind of makes sense.
Perfect.
With them like staring each other down and getting pops.
Kevin goes over his arsenal of 3 moves on Goldberg in the corner. Goldberg powers out of the corner, and Kevin Nash, I shit you not, puts him in an armbar.
What?
Yeah. There was like a
I lost my mind.
triangle, like almost,
I lost my mind.
It was like practically. It started as a triangle choke, and I was like, "Is Kevin Nash doing a triangle choke?"
And then moves it into an
transitioned to
armbar.
Yeah, okay.
And then
you know what would be amazing? By the way,
Goldberg counters. What?
What would be amazing is having a big monster heel guy, or just like a big guy who just kind of has 3 moves. What if they planned at a pay-per-view to just have this guy use an unspeakable variety of submission holds and like high-flying moves just to fuck with everybody? Like, oh Jesus, Big Show is doing a diving elbow from the top rope into an anaconda vice. Like, no one would see it.
What?
I was confused by that.
Yeah.
Goldberg reverses into a leg lock.
Yeah.
Holy shit, wrestling holds.
It was a wrestling match that happened into something.
Goldberg is thrown into the turnbuckle post. Giovanni says, a turnbuckle has never stopped Goldberg before. Some of you know there was a fairly famous spot where Goldberg did headbutt a turnbuckle post and knocked himself unconscious, but that would be 2 years later. That's 2000 WCW, and that's a whole different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Goldberg, true to form, spears Nash really early in the match.
Because that's one of his 4 moves.
Low blow from Kevin Nash. Nice side slam by Nash. Those are his 2 special moves.
Yep.
Kevin starts choking Goldberg on the ropes. What does the ref do?
I think his thought bubble looks like Steamboat Willie at this point. Like
Incorrect. The ref starts counting. And then Kevin Nash lets go. It's a no DQ match.
You're right. It is.
Remember how they've been talking all night? How it's been changed?
It's like the championship committee. I was like, change it to no DQ match, and Tony Schiavone's like, I like no DQ matches, so that way the fans get a clear winner. It's like, fuck off.
So really, during this match, Kevin Nash could be performing dental surgery on Bill Goldberg in the middle of the ring, and there is not shit that the ref can do about it.
Right.
There's a internet personality called Noah. His name is Noah Antweiler, the Spoony one.
Okay.
And he's talked about no DQ matches. Like, there's nothing technically stopping someone from bringing a gun to shooting somebody, but it's wrestling, so you have suspension of disbelief.
Right.
So there's a thing you just can't do. He could technically go Sabu and stab someone with a fork, but that just doesn't happen.
It's just not done.
Remember that time that Sabu pulled a fork out of his boots and stabbed someone in the head with it?
Wrestling.
Oh, Sabu.
Oh, Jesus.
That's called going the full Sabu.
Never go full Sabu.
You never go full Sabu.
He also, when he flies through the air, claps. And that's how you know he's about to hurt himself.
Does he clap? I've never noticed that.
Are you serious? Watch the Sabu match. He starts flying and goes...
When he moonsaults,
It's not just the moonsaults, bro.
Oh, wow.
He claps when he's flying through the air and he's like, I'm about to die.
I'm about to piss myself.
in the face of impending death and dismemberment, you might as well clap. Look at the joie de vivre on that guy.
Okay. Spinning neckbreaker from Goldberg. Holy shit, a wrestling move. Followed with an underhook hip toss.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And a sidekick. Funny note about that sidekick.
Killed Bret Hart.
1 year later, it would give Bret Hart a concussion.
That would
and
lead to
end
a
his
stroke.
career. Yeah. Because it's WCW, we get a run-in from Disco Inferno.
Naturally.
He is not a member of the Wolfpack.
That's not... Woo!
He's not a member of the Wolfpack, but he is wearing the shirt because he wants to be in the Wolfpack. That's funny. That's okay, Scooter. It's okay. You just You're not laughing.
I can feel Scooter's anger from here.
He is told to fuck off by Goldberg. Bam Bam Bigelow comes in. He gets his dick kicked in.
Sure.
Scott Hall, now that the referee has his back turned in a no DQ match,
sure.
They wait until the ref's back is turned. Scott Hall, dressed as a member of security, hits Goldberg with a stun gun, not the wrestling move, like a taser,
a literal
cattle prod. And it was at this moment, it's like, oh god, this is the smodges of all smodges. And then he hits him with that cattle prod, and my little Scooter brain starts ticking. And I start remembering what this was, because like I've said in the past, I've watched WCW. I know that I was like, oh shit, no. And I typed in Wikipedia, finger poke of doom.
Yep.
And I was like, no. Because I remember that specifically being the thing, is how Goldberg lost the belt, is when he got stunned, and the next night, Nash laid down for Hogan. And I was like, fuck you, Marty, fuck you, because I didn't realize this was the pay-per-view until this moment. This was the moment until this. So, and yeah, not only is it smudge, there's a squadron of security people swarming everywhere. It's a real Donnybrook at this moment.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like it was like a decent match into what the fuck is happening?
See, but it almost wasn't even a proper schmoz, because it was like the scene in The Hobbit where the dwarves start coming to the door sequentially at the beginning, and it was like that, where like a guy would run in and interfere and then get knocked out again, and then another guy would run in and interfere, and then finally Scott Hall shows up.
And then people, like security guys flying around, and all of a sudden Scott Hall's drunk with a stun gun.
Which is how you know it's WCW, yeah.
I don't even know, man. It's like, how did he sneak in as a member of security?
Yeah, he's got a pretty noticeable...
6'6" with a jerry curl and a toothpick. You can be like, hey, wait a second, Scott Hall, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, some guy got fired after that. Like, how did you not notice it was Scott Hall? Like, well, I don't
know.
He was heads taller than everybody else.
Oh my
that was
God.
in the security, like,
with a toothpick.
Like, wait a second.
Jesus.
Razor Ramon.
And then, of course, very nice looking jackknife powerbomb. And you know what? Kevin Nash does not have a lot of moves, but his powerbomb is really lovely.
It looks beautiful.
It's a safe powerbomb. From his height, it looks very devastating.
This does.
From his height, it looks like they're landing on their like shoulders and neck, and you're like, that man is dead.
Well, because the motherfucker's like 7'1".
Right.
He's not that tall, but he's really tall.
So he gets the 3, thereby ending Goldberg's gigantic streak, giving the title over to Nash.
Who booked it?
Scooter, how do you feel?
Well, Martin, I'm going to stay calm, cool, and collective and say, because
you have to look at this match by itself.
I hate schmoz endings.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With a passion. Like, especially, and this is the worst. One of the worst fuck you main event pay-per-view schmozes that I've ever seen. It involved a taser or cattle prod.
Oh, and actually for
That being said...
For non-carnies, we should probably describe what a schmoz is.
A schmoz is that everybody jumps in and starts fighting. And
it's chaotic and weird.
What you do to end a Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That being said, I was shocked by the stun gun.
You were stunned even.
By the wrestling these guys pulled out. Therefore, it's going to get a 2 out of 5.
All right.
Not the 1 it deserves.
Okay. Ryan, how'd you feel about it?
It was a bullshit end to a match, obviously. The beginning, the sexual tension at the beginning, you could cut it with a fork between these guys. It was bananas. It had way too much build-up, could never live up to that build-up, because for Christ's sakes, the entire night, everybody had been jerking off over either the main event or...
the Ric Flair motion?
Yeah, or Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair. The thing was, they actually seemed to do a few moves more than their usual fatting at one another.
It's true.
So and the thing was, it felt big. Like, it felt like a proper pay-per-view main event. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
There you go.
So...
What'd you give it, Marty? What'd you give it?
I actually enjoyed the match.
Look at you. Look at you being wrong.
Oh, dear.
I thought it was a fitting main event. It had a really big feel to it. You have to end his undefeated streak at some point because he's the champion.
Right.
Problem is, that's all Goldberg had going for him.
I understand that. It took 2 men to distract him, while another man had to hit him with a taser.
True.
With a taser. And then someone pulled out what is supposed to be one of the more, devastating finishing moves to finally beat him.
It's true.
The match actually did it for me. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
There you go.
Wow.
See, the reason why I have so much vitriol for this match is because the night after is what killed WCW.
The finger poke of doom.
I know.
I
know.
It's straight up, after that, there was, it was the same night that Shivani said that about Mick Foley winning the championship. It's like, that will put butts in the seats.
And then it did.
And it did. And he never came back.
Yeah, so this was really WCW's last real, swan song.
My favorite thing ever is the signs that started showing up in WWF saying, Mick Foley put my butt in this seat. And for Mick Foley, my favorite thing ever, because as far as religion goes, I am uncomfortable with the Austin 316 gimmick.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really appreciated was when Mick Foley said, there were all these signs that said Foley is God. And he said, you guys left out an O.
And then Foley,
and
Foley
from then
is
on,
good.
You started seeing signs that said Foley is good.
Although I feel like they could have just written "Oh God, Foley."
That too. That would have worked.
Yeah.
Oh God, Foley.
Where are they now?
Where are they
I'm
now?
Sure I'm sure these two guys are actually doing pretty well for themselves.
Kevin Nash, of course, was in Magic Mike.
Kevin Nash was in Magic Mike.
Shout out.
Kevin Nash, like everyone else on the list, would head back to WWE and then to TNA. He would return in 2011 to the WWE as the surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble as Diesel.
Man, Kofi Kingston's surprise face when he came out as Diesel was the funniest thing to me.
And then in 2014, he showed up at the Royal Rumble as Diesel, and I marked out. Bit of trivia. Not only was he in Magic Mike, in 1991, Kevin Nash was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
As Shredder. Or
He
Super
was
Shredder.
Super Shredder.
Right.
Yup.
In 1999, he created and co-wrote a comic book called Nash, starring him in a dystopian future.
Are you not confusing this with the Warrior comic?
I am not...
Because it's practically the same concept.
Which, side note about the Ultimate Warrior's comic about himself,
Holy shit, it is so bad.
his fringed armbands talk to him.
Yep.
Yes, it's amazing.
It's incredible.
We have to find this Nash comic and review it.
Oh god. Yeah, we do.
He is still somewhat active on the indies. Goldberg, unlike everyone else, never went to TNA, but piddled around in the WWE for some time before leaving after a match with Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. I guess we'll get to that one as well.
Yeah.
He now owns Extreme Power Gym in Oceanside, California.
Yay.
Crunch butt steak.
Sorry, we're not going to cover Mike just yet. Tony Schiavone would head back to announcing baseball sleepily. Heenan announced on his website in 2002 that he had throat cancer, and he said he planned on beating it, saying, "If the late, great Gorilla Monsoon couldn't shut me up, this won't either."
Shit. That's so great.
That's awesome. That's a good quote.
He does make sporadic appearances in various wrestling promotions, but as I understand it now, he's now battling tongue cancer, though still hanging in there at almost 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been fighting it forever.
Yeah, he's...
He can't talk, but by
Yeah.
God, he still shows up and does this thing.
Yep.
Mike Tenay would go on to TNA to become an announcer.
I feel like during this we should have I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan playing softly in the background.
We can't fucking afford that. No. Mike Tenay would go on to TNA to become an announcer. Left very recently to head over to announce for New Japan. As of August 8th, 2014, he has just released a new Vaporwave album.
Yes. Which, by the way, Vaporwave... I'm not even going to say anything about Vaporwave as a thing. I love the idea, and then also it is unlistenable, so...
Yes.
Phone.
MikeTenay.bandcamp.com will allow you to listen to his brand new electronic dance music / Vaporwave album for free.
Well, obviously for free.
I hear you typing.
Listen, don't judge my music choices. Yeah, I'm totally looking this up immediately.
Thanks for listening to three pathetic ugly guys discuss wrestling 16 years after the fact. Follow us on Twitter at ToJ Podcast, on Tumblr, tojpodcast.tumblr.com, and Facebook at facebook.com/ToJ Podcast. We'll be back next week with our discussion on WrestleMania 5. I'm Marty.
I'm Scooter.
I'm Ryan.
And remember, call the hotline now for only $1.69 a minute. Kids, get your parents' permission. Good night, everybody.
Usually the man who drops to his knees first can get the leverage.